Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Daddy Fever by Margot Scott, narrated by Lou Banks and E.M. Wild. Chapter 1. Natasha. My best friend, Ollie, croons the lyrics to an upbeat pop song as he pilots his little Jeep through the busy streets of Knoxville. I hum along to the melody, noting how even the red brick office buildings look downright cheerful, their faces lit up by the summer sun. Technically, there's still a few weeks to go before the solstice, but as far as I'm concerned, summer began the moment our spring semester ended. Nervous excitement spreads through my limbs like a fever. I've been looking forward to this 3-month stretch of renewal, relaxation, and maybe even a little change. A summer of change. I like the sound of that. Carefully planned and thoughtfully executed, of course. Ollie lowers the volume on the stereo. "Do you want me to go in with you this time?" "No, thanks," I say. This appointment shouldn't be any more complicated than a regular pelvic exam. I appreciate the ride, though. "Please, it's the least I can do. Knowing you're coming with me to dinner tonight is the only thing keeping me sane." We pass twin parking garages, each one taking up the length of an entire city block, then make a right onto Highland Avenue. "The reservation is at 7, by the way," he says. I know. I set a reminder on my phone. I turn my gaze from the window to Ollie's hands, gripping the steering wheel like he's trying to wring its neck. Normally, I'm the one double and triple checking our event schedules. I'm not used to seeing my best friend so anxious unless there's a big exam or a cute guy involved. "I'm just saying we can't be late if we want to get on my dad's good side," he says. "What makes you think we won't be on his good side from the beginning?" 21 years of experience? I offer him a reassuring smile. "I know it's been over a year since you saw each other, but he reached out to you. That has to mean something." He makes a right onto Highland Avenue. "I doubt he moved back here just to spend time with me." "You don't know that for sure. Even if he did move back for work, that doesn't mean he can't also be happy to see you." Ollie sighs heavily. "Look, Nat, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I just want to focus on getting through this dinner without it turning into an argument. You know how critical he can be." I don't know. Not really. All I know about Ollie's dad are the stories he's told me. If my pre-law studies have taught me anything, it's that most people aren't very good at discerning the motivations of others, doubly so when it comes to family. There are always two sides to a story. Ollie's dad could mean well, despite what his son thinks. Still, I can tell Ollie's not in the mood to give his dad the benefit of the doubt. "You're right," I say, running a hand through his messy brown locks. "One thing at a time. We'll get through this dinner together." "Thank you." I turn back to the window. To be fair, I'm not especially close with my own parents. We spend Christmas together, and I try to make it back to Maryland once every summer, but other than that, I'm extremely independent. Ollie feels more like family to me than my extended family ever has, which is probably why I'm so invested in seeing him patch things up with his dad. I know, deep down, he wishes his dad would make more of an effort to get to know him. I want that for Ollie, too. "Instead of focusing on something we can't change," Ollie says, shooting a grin in my direction, "let's focus on something we can. You, Ms. Bellows, are now one step closer to losing that V-card." "Oh, please, not this again." I roll my eyes despite the smile on my face. "Hey, you never know. Today could be the day." Unless deflowering via speculum counts as doing the deed, I highly doubt it. And tonight we've got dinner lined up with your dad, So, no time for sex today, I'm afraid. Not with that attitude, you don't. I point out the OBGYN's office up ahead, just in case he's forgotten what it looks like in the weeks since my last appointment. The old stone building feels out of place among the vinyl-sided homes on the street. Ollie pulls into the parking lot, turns off the car, and looks to me. "I'm serious, Nat," he says. "We are going to check off every single task on your summer bucket list, starting with getting you laid. Convincing my dad to let us move into my grandpa's old lake house is just the second step toward achieving our goals." "What was step one?" I ask as I unbuckle my seatbelt. "You getting an IUD." He wags his eyebrows suggestively. I do, in fact, have a summer bucket list, or a bucket list, as Ollie sometimes likes to call it. Most of the tasks I've laid out are pretty boring. Read 15 novels, see a fireworks show, spend a day at Dollywood. But at the top of the list is something far more personally significant. I want to lose my virginity. At 20 years old, I feel like I've fallen behind most of my peers in the sex department. Ollie certainly passed me by a long time ago. As with everything else, I'm going to go about it carefully. I've already chosen the guy I'm going to give it to, and the place where I'd like to lose it, geographically speaking. I had my IUD inserted exactly 4 weeks ago, and today's checkup is just to make sure everything's still in place. And then the summer can finally begin. "I'll text you when I'm done," I tell him. Ollie nods and turns the car back on, along with the AC and stereo. "Have fun," he says with a cheeky wave. I slide out of his car and head into the doctor's office. A blast of cold air greets me as I walk through the front door, and I shiver as I approach the reception desk. "Hi, I have an appointment. Last name Bellows." The smiling receptionist checks her monitor for my information. "Bellows, may I have your date of birth?" She confirms my identity and nods. "Great, thank you. Before we send you back, I need to inform you that Dr. Longmire had an unexpected emergency this morning and had to go home. The remaining practitioners are splitting her patients between them, so wait times may be a little longer than usual. Would you still like to be seen today? If not, we can reschedule you for 2 weeks from now." I gnaw the inside of my cheek as I consider my options. If Ollie and I can convince his dad to let us move into the lake house tonight, we can get the place cleaned up and ready for a party as soon as this weekend. I don't love the idea of having a stranger all up in my personal business, but I don't want to have sex until I know for sure that my IUD is good to go. I'm on a tight schedule. Waiting 2 weeks isn't an option. "I'll see whoever can take me today," I tell the receptionist. "Please have a seat. We'll call for you shortly." I grab a seat in the waiting room and send Ollie a quick text, letting him know my appointment might run a few minutes late. Thankfully, it doesn't take long for the medical assistant to call my name and take me to the exam room. After taking my height and weight, she instructs me to remove my clothes and put on the gown laid out for me. I change out of my clothes and put on the patient gown, then take a seat on the edge of the exam table, laying the paper sheet across my thighs. Within minutes, the door opens and, in place of the bespectacled 40-something woman who inserted my IUD, in walks a very tall, well-groomed, dark-haired man. Oh, no. No. This can't be happening. "Natasha Bellows?" The handsome doctor nods politely as he shuts the door behind him. He sets the laptop he's carrying down on the desk in the corner and takes a seat on the rolling stool. "It says here you had an IUD inserted 4 weeks ago." His ocean blue gaze pierces straight through me. robbing me of the ability to form full sentences. Yep, I squeak. This man, this doctor, is way too hot. Not just in general, but for his age. How is this even allowed? I demand to speak with someone in charge. His pale blue button-down shirt clings to his broad shoulders and tapered waist. The 5 o'clock shadow stippling his jawline is so unapologetically male, it makes me bite my lip. This guy isn't just hot. He's a walking thirst trap. My pelvic exam is just a pit stop on the way to his regularly scheduled Instagram shoot. Ms. Bellows. Oh, God. He caught me staring. Sorry, what? The paper blanket crinkles in my fists. I need you to lie back on the table and scoot your bottom to the edge. Panic rises in my chest as he slides the stirrups out from their little cubby inside the exam table. This is really happening. A man is going to look at my vagina. And not just any man, but this very attractive man is going to come face to face with the most intimate parts of my anatomy. I'm not freaking out. You're freaking out. Ms. Bellows. Natasha's fine, I blurt. Or Nat. It's what my friends call me. My face feels like it's literally on fire. Through the hubbub of my racing thoughts, I know this is so damn stupid. What the hell is wrong with me? This man is a doctor. There's nothing sexual about the situation. Natasha. He rolls his chair a little closer to me and hunches his shoulders. I suspect he's trying to make himself appear smaller, less intimidating. It's not working, but I appreciate the gesture. I know you weren't expecting to see me today, he says. I understand how having a male doctor perform this procedure could be nerve-wracking. If you'd like, we can stop, and you can wait for a female doctor to become available. Unfortunately, I can't tell you when that will be, but I want you to feel comfortable. The sincerity in his voice calms me down just enough so that I can take a deep breath. Thank you, I say. I appreciate that, but I'm okay. I want you to check me out. Out. My IUD. Kill me. His mouth curves into a smile, and good Lord, the man has dimples for days. Wedging my heels into the stirrups, I scramble to get into position on the exam table so that I can hopefully bolt out of here as soon as humanly possible. Are your legs comfortable? The doctor's gloved hand touches my ankle, and by some dark anatomical magic, I feel the echo of his touch between my thighs. I can adjust the stirrups if necessary. They're fine. The paper blanket crinkles as he raises it, exposing my lower body. His gloved hand touches my inner thigh. I'm going to insert the speculum now, he says. You'll feel some pressure and possibly a little pinch as it opens. I bite my lip and order my lungs to keep breathing as he rubs clear lubricant onto the speculum. So, tell me about yourself, Natasha. Are you a student? Yeah, I say, grateful for the routine small talk. I'm going to be a junior at UT Knoxville this fall. What are you studying? Pre-law. I gasp as cold metal warms against my skin. Deep breaths, Natasha, he says. I can feel how tense you are. Right, I wince. Can he feel how turned on I am? No, I can't think about that. I will literally die of embarrassment. What are your plans for the summer? Just normal summer stuff. Swimming and kayaking. My best friend and I are hoping to stay at his family's lake house, invite some friends, throw some parties. Sounds fun. Spread your legs a little wider for me, Natasha. He lays a hand on my knee to help adjust my position. Right there. That's perfect. You're doing great. Thanks, I say. Warmth blooms in my belly. I bite my lip as his approval washes over me, enjoying the deep, rumbling sound of his praise far more than I have any right to. What made you decide to get an IUD? He says after I've gone quiet. I consider lying, but I have no reason to. He's an OBGYN. He knows why most women choose to get on birth control. I like that I don't have to worry about it for 7 years, and I'm a big fan of the 99% effectiveness rate. I'm actually planning on having sex soon, possibly this weekend. I tell myself to stop there, but it's too late. Now that the floodgates are open, there's nothing to stem my rambling. I just feel so behind all of my friends, you know? I mean, I'm almost 21 and I'm still a virgin. Dr. Sexy leans to his left to make eye contact with me. Seriously, who gave him permission to be so freaking attractive? There's nothing wrong with waiting to become sexually active, he says softly. Just because you have an IUD doesn't mean that you have to have sex if you don't feel ready. No one should pressure you into making that decision, not even yourself. But that's the thing, I say. I feel like I've been ready. Now I just want to get my first time out of the way so I can move on and not feel so left out. It's not supposed to be a race. He pauses, squints. You wouldn't happen to be planning to have sex for the first time at one of those parties you mentioned earlier, would you? My pulse jumps. Maybe. Why? As your doctor, I would caution you against having sex somewhere you aren't 100% comfortable. Parties are a great way to meet people, but there's a very good chance you'll be interrupted. Add alcohol to the mix and you're looking at a situation that can quickly spiral out of control. To be honest, I hadn't really considered those points. I'm not technically old enough to drink, but I've been known to enjoy a beer or two on occasion. Nothing crazy or excessive. I'll admit the part about being interrupted makes sense, but I've seen people sneak off to hook up at almost every party I've been to. Just something to think about, he says when I don't respond. He turns his attention back to the expedition taking place between my legs. The strings look good, he said. Your IUD appears to be in position. Unless you're experiencing pain or excessive bleeding, I'd say you're good to go. Just remember that an IUD doesn't protect you from STIs, so you'll still want to use condoms. Will do. He covers my legs with a thin patient blanket and pulls off his gloves. You can sit up now. You did very well, Natasha. Thank you, I tell him sincerely. It's not often that I meet a man, especially a male doctor, who makes me feel validated instead of undermined or judged. The fact that he hasn't asked about my diet or mentioned my weight even once is downright refreshing. And thanks for the advice, by the way. I really appreciate it. Of course. He lays a comforting hand on my knee, squeezing gently, before rolling over to his computer to input some information. That should be everything for today. If you experience any discomfort or bleeding, or you're unable to feel your strings at any point in the future, feel free to come back. Moving with efficiency, he tidies up the counter, picks up his laptop, and heads for the door. You're good to check out now, he says. It was nice meeting you, Natasha. Thanks, Doctor. I rack my brain for his name and come up empty. Actually, I don't think I caught your name. His thick brows shoot up as though he hadn't realized his error. Forgive me, I'm Dr. Ransom. He offers me his hand to shake, and I take it. Dr. Ransom. I repeat his name as though there's any legitimate risk of ever forgetting the name of the first man who put his head between my thighs. My breath hitches at the mental image. For God's sake, he's your doctor. Stop being weird. He's still holding my hand when he says, "Enjoy your summer, Natasha. And think about what I said. You're already making smart choices. Trust your gut to know what's right for you. Forget about everyone else." "I'll try," I tell him. His words echo through my mind long after he's left the exam room. You're already making smart choices. Trust your gut. Getting an IUD was a smart choice. As long as I stick to my plans and don't take any unnecessary risks, there's no reason I can't have the kind of summer I've been dreaming about. A fun, flirty, sexy summer. Thankfully, the hard part is over now. All that's left is to help Ollie convince his dad to let us move into the lake house. Easy.
Chapter 2. Evan. Seated behind my desk in the cool darkness of my office, I rub my eyes and sigh. As an OB/GYN, it's my job to care about patients' sex lives. But my initial reaction to the thought of Natasha having sex at a party just to get it over with was anything but professional. Absolutely not. I thought to myself, no way in hell. It was the kind of thing a father might say in response to his daughter's request to stay out past curfew. In other words, completely inappropriate given that Natasha isn't my child. But that simple fact wasn't enough to quell the heart palpitations, excessive perspiration, and oral parafunction threatening to crush my molars into dust. I was never so grateful for a pair of legs to duck behind, and I'll admit, as far as legs go, hers were pretty spectacular. But this isn't what I do. I don't make a habit of checking out my patients. Like that. On the rare occasion when our interactions veer toward flirtations, I laugh it off, figuring if they're comfortable enough to flirt, I must be doing something right. But Natasha wasn't flirting or seeking my attention. She was just being herself. Her honesty and her innocence, even her nervousness, touched me deeply, unlocking a protective instinct I haven't felt since my son was little. Natasha's not a child, but something about her comes off as innocent. Still, I shouldn't be thinking about her as anything more than a patient. Even if she is an exceptionally beautiful patient who deserves to be with someone who will take her comfort and her pleasure seriously, it's not my place to tell her what to do with her body. I can only make her aware of the potential benefits and risks at her disposal and hope she heeds my advice. I switch on my desk lamp and dive into paperwork prior to my next appointment. Between covering for Dr. Longmire and seeing my own patients, the day passes quickly. It's still light out by the time I make it to the gym after work. Normally, I'd sweat out the day's stress by running circuits on my favorite machines, but tonight I need to be quick if I'm going to make it home in time to shower and change before dinner with my son. Ben Gold, one of the owners of Gold Standard Fitness, greets me with a wave as I pass the front desk. Ben's a giant, even by my standards, and one of the most hardworking people I've ever met. Maybe too hardworking for his own good. "Evening, Doc," he says, nodding. "Hey, Ben, you ever think about taking a night off?" He grunts. "Careful, you're starting to sound like my sister." "Maybe you should listen to her." "Say that again, and I'll revoke your membership on the spot." His gaze drifts toward the yoga studio. As a matter of fact, I do have plans tonight. "I don't think a yoga class counts as taking the night off if it's held at your place of work," I say, just as a pretty young redhead in tight athletic pants exits the studio. Awareness dawns on me as I watch Ben track her across the room. "Your plans have excellent posture," I tell him. He shoots me a glare. "I know you didn't come in here to ogle my staff, Doc." That I did not. Chuckling, I continue making my way to the treadmills for a quick cardio warm-up. Each step on the track helps me leave the day's events behind me as the tension in my muscles slowly eases. With my body on autopilot, I can let go of my thoughts. At least, that's how it's supposed to work. Tonight, it seems that no matter how fast I run, I can't wipe Natasha's face from my mind's eye. It's been hours since I had her on my table, but she's like a song stuck on repeat in my head. I can't stop replaying her appointment, recalling the sound of her voice and the pink flush in her cheeks. Tenderness blooms in my chest at the memory. I rub at my sternum, fighting the sensation as best I can. Get a fucking grip, Evan. She's a goddamn patient. Technically, she's not my patient, but she's still a patient at the practice where I work. And who knows where she'll end up after she graduates from college. I'll probably never see her again, unless she runs into trouble with her IUD or picks up a disease from some unscrupulous frat boy. Tension creeps back into my muscles at the thought of her fucking someone. Hell, anyone. But specifically, someone who isn't me. I stab at the treadmill's touchscreen, upping the pace, and force myself to run faster, to push harder. I'm aware there's no point in getting jealous over a younger woman I can never have, no matter how mouth-watering she is. It's a damn good thing she isn't my patient. If treating her once has the power to make me lose my mind, imagine what seeing her on a regular basis would do to my sanity. For God's sake, she's practically the same age as my son. Thinking about Oliver seems to knock the sense back into me. I check the time, mentally calculating how long it should take me to get home, get ready, and drive to the restaurant. A familiar apprehension fills my stomach. The irony of a doctor who delivers babies having a strained relationship with his own child isn't lost on me. The sad fact is that I haven't been a good father to my son in a very long time. Oliver's mother and I were barely 19 when he came along, and while our relationship didn't last, we made every effort to co-parent our son as friends. It was easy when he was little. All I had to do to get him laughing was blow a raspberry on his stomach. But as he got older, our relationship shifted. We couldn't be in the same room for more than 10 minutes without the conversation turning into an argument. After a while, I stopped making the effort to see him between holidays. Short vacations became shorter visits. Family dinners devolved into quick meals, which withered into even quicker phone calls. I know it's my fault. I should have tried harder to work through our communication issues. That's why I decided to move back to Knoxville. For Oliver. For us. An ache unrelated to my warm-up makes me turn off the treadmill anyway. I move to the mat to stretch, but the tightness in my chest remains. I've wasted so much time that I could have spent getting to know my son. Time that I can't get back. I wish I could say that I came to the decision to repair our relationship on my own. But in fact, it was the loss of a friend and colleague that set me straight. I worked alongside Dr. Sam Abernathy at my former OB/GYN practice in Virginia for 8 years. He was a good man and a skilled surgeon. He did everything right, ate healthy, worked out, and never forgot his vitamins. He took care of his family, but none of that mattered in the end. He suffered a fatal heart attack 10 days after his 40th birthday. I'll be 41 in 6 months. The shock of Sam's loss was a wake-up call for me. It jostled my priorities and turned the spotlight on my regrets. Moving back to Tennessee to be closer to Oliver was the logical next step. I may have missed out on my son's high school prom, his sports games, his first heartbreak, but I'm determined to be present now, assuming he'll have anything to do with me. I arrive at the restaurant a few minutes early, encouraged to find Oliver already seated at the table. He's talking to someone I can't see from where I'm standing, and I recall that Oliver did mention inviting a friend to join us. I shoot a prayer to the patron saint of polite family discourse that all of us make it out of this meal unscathed. My son glances up at my approach and offers me a small smile. Off to a good start. As I move closer, his companion comes into view. A woman in a red strapless dress with long chestnut-colored hair flowing down her back. She turns to look at me, and my early optimism dies a painful death. No, it can't be her. Anyone but her. "Hey, Dad." My son gives me a half-hearted wave. I manage a tight smile in return as I take the empty seat across from him. "Good to see you, Oliver." I steal a glance at a very wide-eyed Natasha. She looks about as shocked as I feel. "Yeah, you too." He gestures to Natasha. This is my friend, Nat. I've told you about her. We go to school together. I vaguely recall him mentioning a college friend named Nat during our brief phone conversations, but he never said her last name, nor that I would have recalled it even if he had. Years ago, Oliver took on his stepfather's surname when his mom remarried, which explains why Natasha didn't make the connection this afternoon. Nat, he says to Natasha, this is my dad, Dr. Evan Ransom. Her gulp is audible as she meets my gaze head-on. Before either of us can respond, the waiter arrives to take our drink orders. While Oliver asks about the restaurant's IPA options, I steal a glance at Natasha. She studies the menu intently, as if the laminated pages might hold the answer to life's most important question. Why has the universe conspired to torture us? As soon as the waiter leaves, I clasp my hands in front of me and wait to take my cue from Natasha as to how I should approach this meeting. Finally, she sets her menu down and reaches her hand across the table. It's nice to meet you, Dr. Ransom, she says. She wants to pretend we're strangers. It's just as well. Why complicate an already awkward situation with the fact that I know she has a small brown mole on her inner thigh? Her hand feels warm in mine. I can't resist letting my gaze drift from her pink lips to her bare shoulders and slight bit of cleavage. You as well, Natasha. I force myself to release her hand and turn to my son. How's school going? You just finished your 3rd year. We both did, Oliver says. School's been good. Didn't quite hit a 4.0 last semester, but I still made the dean's list, as did Nat. That's excellent, I say. He smiles, looking pleased. The waiter returns with our drinks and a basket of garlic knots. I've been so distracted by the almost comical turn of events that I haven't even bothered to look at my menu. After a quick scan of the specials, I place my order and hand off my menu. Oliver devours a garlic knot in 3 bites. So where are you working now, Dad? Natasha's cheeks glow like embers. I didn't think it was possible, but somehow she's even more radiant outside of the office. Her red dress cinches just below her breasts and cascades down her body like water. Whatever she's done with her makeup brings out the copper specks in her eyes. A private OBGYN practice near UT, I say, hoping he won't push further. Not the one on Highland Ave, right? I fight the urge to sigh. That's the one. No way, Ollie says. Isn't that where you go, Nat? She pops a piece of bread between her lips and nods. Talk about small world, he says. Perhaps too small, I mumble. Natasha chortles around the food in her mouth, and I can't help but snicker. I wish we were here under different circumstances, laughing about some inconsequential irony. Maybe at a table set for 2, tucked into the corner, candlelight flickering off her smooth skin. Her full, kissable lips curve into a modest smile as she glances up at me through dark lashes. What was the name of the hot doctor you saw today? Oliver asks her. My dad probably knows him. Natasha swallows hard. I don't remember. What are you going to school for, Natasha? I ask, though I already know the answer. Her brow arches. Pre-law, she says. Nat wants to be a big fancy lawyer, Oliver adds. So you're ambitious, I say. There's no missing the quirk of her lips at the compliment. What made you decide to study law? She picks at the remaining half of her garlic knot. I like helping people resolve conflicts. I'm the middle child of 2 stubborn parents, so there was a lot of arguing in my house growing up. I was always the one coming up with compromises, trying to keep everything fair. I know the law isn't always fair, but it's not going to get any fairer unless we fight for it. And you don't see that as a contradiction? Fighting to resolve conflict? Puzzlement flickers across her face, followed by amusement. She knows I'm playing with her. I think becoming a good lawyer is about honing your instincts, knowing when to fight, when to stand down, when to bluff. She hides her smirk behind the rim of her water glass. Especially when to bluff, she says. Oliver grabs another garlic knot from the basket, seemingly oblivious to the tension crackling between Natasha and myself. Whether or not he's caught on to the ruse, I have no business flirting with my son's friend, even if she is too damn adorable for her own good. What are you kids planning to do this summer? I swirl the ice in my glass as I wait for their reply. Oliver flashes a meaningful look at Natasha. "Actually," he says, "we were thinking we'd move into Grandpa's old lake house for the summer." "You mean my lake house?" The question comes out harsher than I intend. Oliver clears his throat. "Yeah, I guess it's your lake house now. We were thinking we'd head up there this weekend." Natasha's words from earlier in the day echo back to me. She wants to have sex this weekend, possibly at a party. My fist clenches around my glass. I shouldn't be so worked up over this. I have no obligation to Natasha, and she has none to me. Yet the protectiveness I felt during her appointment is back with a vengeance. "You want to throw a party at my lake house," I say. "Why the hell do you keep saying it like that?" Oliver barks. "It's not like you ever go there." "For your information, I drove out to the lake last weekend. I'm not sure what you're expecting to find, but the place hasn't seen a vacuum in years. It needs work. Work that I've already started because I plan on spending weekends there." "Of course you do." Oliver shakes his head. Natasha lays a hand on his arm, which seems to calm him. "Look, Dad, we worked hard all last semester. We just want to celebrate the end of exams." "Will there be alcohol?" I ask. Oliver shrugs. "I mean, yeah." "I won't drink." Natasha cuts in, answering the question I can't ask without explaining how I know she's not yet 21. "And we'll keep everyone inside and off the roads." "So they'll be spending the night then?" I ask. Natasha looks away, her face and chest reddening in that maddening way that makes her look like she's glowing from the inside out. Oliver throws up his hands. "Would you rather have people driving home drunk?" "I'd rather not have kids drinking on my property at all. It's a lake house, Oliver, not a dorm. People could get hurt. Someone stumbles into the water, and who's going to be there to pull them out? Do you know CPR?" I glance between the two of them, doubting either of them do. Not to mention the possible damage to the property itself. "Dr. Ransom, we're not 10 years old, Dad. We're fucking adults." Oliver snaps, cutting Natasha off. "Jesus, it's like you think we're going to ransack the place for the hell of it. When people drink, they make poor decisions. We're not going to get blackout drunk, and those decisions can have lasting consequences." I turn my gaze to Natasha, who immediately glances away. "I don't want you doing something you'll later regret." Our food arrives, and it's a welcome pause in conversation. Oliver attacks his chicken parmesan, while Natasha pushes her gnocchi around her plate. "What if we compromise?" she says. "Good luck," Oliver says around a mouthful of spaghetti. "Please, Dr. Ransom," Natasha says, leaning just the slightest bit forward. "Just hear me out." Please. The word rings in my ears. I force myself to take a steadying breath. I'm already on thin ice when it comes to my son. The last thing I want is to disappoint him yet again. But I know how wild college parties can get. I set my fork down. "What do you have in mind?" "You let Ollie and I move into the lake house, and we'll help you fix up the place while we live there. We'll clean up after ourselves, mow the lawn, keep things tidy. That way, when you come home on your off days, you don't have to lift a finger. You can enjoy your house on the weekends and pretend we're not even there." Somehow, I doubt that'll be possible. Natasha elbows Oliver. "Right, Ollie?" Oliver scrunches his nose, but doesn't disagree. "I can mow the lawn and help you move out some of the old furniture," he says to me. "I know you're worried about us wrecking the place, but it's not like I want to destroy Grandpa's old house. Dad and I just want a vacation before college starts up in the fall." "And parties," I remind him. "We'll be careful," Natasha assures me. I feel a leg nudge mine under the table and realize it must be Natasha's. Her skin is warm enough that I can feel the heat through my pants, and the contact sends a flood of inappropriate heat straight to my groin. "Come on, Dad," Oliver says. "I never ask you for anything." Ouch. I draw my leg away from Natasha's and focus on my son. He's right. He doesn't ask me for anything. Now he's finally sitting here, having dinner with me. It feels wrong to deny him. I don't like the idea of a bunch of college kids partying on my property. But Natasha has a point. There's middle ground here somewhere. We just have to find it. I have a few conditions, I say. They both continue eating as I rattle off the house rules. No underage drinking, I tell them. No overnight guests. No parties. Oliver scoffs. But I raise my hand to let him know I'm not finished. You can have a few friends over, as long as you get my permission first. We can do that, Natasha says. Her smile warms my chest. I allow myself to return the gesture briefly, knowing that my motivations aren't altogether selfless. I'm not just agreeing to this arrangement to make my son happy. I'm doing what I can to ensure Natasha won't be hooking up with any undeserving frat boys while at my lake house. Having her in my home this summer, all summer, is going to test my willpower, but it's a challenge I'm willing to accept. Like it or not, Natasha Bellows has completely taken over my mind. I'll just have to remain vigilant to ensure my mind is the only part of me she touches.
Chapter 3. Natasha. Ollie holds out the bottle of sunblock for me to take. Can you get my back? Sure. I squeeze some lotion into my palm and then rub the cool cream over his shoulders and upper back, digging my thumbs into his muscles for good measure. Thanks, he says with a sigh. I definitely pulled something this morning. Who knew ripping out 40-year-old carpeting would be more rigorous than CrossFit? Moving into the lake house has been a steady process over the past week. Ollie and I have torn down wallpaper, ripped out carpeting, and washed and vacuumed every square inch of the house that we can reach. It's been a ton of work, but I can already see how much nicer the house will look once we've painted the walls and polished the hardwood floors. Just think about what a slice of paradise this place will be when we're finished. Not that anyone besides us will get to enjoy it, he grumbles. Ollie slips on a pair of sunglasses and reclines in his lounge chair. While the interior of the house might be a DIY disaster, the back deck overlooking Norris Lake is pretty much heaven on earth. I smooth a fresh layer of sunblock on my chest, making sure to reach behind my thin bikini straps. Ollie and I will both be golden gods by the time we return to campus, and the extra sun exposure is already doing wonders for my complexion, as well as my serotonin levels. I wish my best friend could say the same. This sucks, he mutters. I should have known he'd be a hard ass about us living here. Nothing about this moment sucks. And your dad's concerns didn't seem that unreasonable. I can't believe you're okay with not being able to throw parties here. I'm supposed to use this summer to get over my ex, and you were supposed to hook up with Toby. He swishes his glass of iced tea and takes an agitated sip. How are either of us gonna get laid if we can't let people sleep over? I know I'm new to all of this, but do people not have sex during the day? That's not the point. He rolls his eyes. We had plans, Nat. In hindsight, this place wouldn't have been ready for a party this weekend. Also, I never said I was okay with the no-party rule. You're the one who agreed to it. Did you want to spend the summer here or not? I throw on my shades and adjust the angle of my mesh lounge chair. We didn't have much of a choice, Ollie. It was either agree to his rules or stay in the city. Don't make me out to be the bad guy. Ollie downs his glass of tea and sets it on the small, round patio table between us. I'm sorry. I just wish my dad hadn't destroyed our plans. Nothing is destroyed, I assure him. Look at this gorgeous view and tell me we can't have a good time here. We can sunbathe and grill burgers, and we can still have small groups of friends over. Plus, we can go swimming anytime we want, even after dark. Ollie gazes out at the sparkling waters of Norris Lake and sighs. Fine, he says. I guess it's not so bad. But still, Nat. No overnight guests? Forget hot summer nights with Toby. It's gonna be a lunch date hookup kind of summer. Yeah, that part does kind of suck. I sip my sweet tea so slowly that the condensation drips down my chest. If I'm being honest, ever since I met Dr. Ransom, Ollie's dad, I remind myself firmly, I haven't thought about Toby at all. A week ago, I was convinced he was the one I wanted to lose my virginity to. Now, I'm not so sure. The worst part is that I can't even talk to my best friend about my feelings, and the lie of omission has me feeling like a jerk. I still haven't told Ollie that his dad was the doctor I saw for my IUD checkup. To be fair, it's not the most natural topic to bring up in everyday conversation. Hey, bestie, can you pass the chips? By the way, your dad said my vagina's good to go. I squinch up my features and force myself not to think about the appointment. Instead, my traitorous brain calls to mind the image of him across the table from me at dinner. Seeing him in a different context reminded me that he really is a normal guy underneath it all. But he's not a normal guy. He's my best friend's father. I bite my lip, inhaling deeply through my nose, then let it out slowly. I can't do anything about my crush on Dr. Evan Ransom, but I can recommit to my plans for the summer and perhaps do something to lift Ollie's spirits at the same time. Why don't we ask your dad if we can invite a few people over for a barbecue next weekend? You mean for barbecue brunch? I'm serious. We can invite a handful of people over for an early dinner and swimming. I don't know, Nat. Ollie rubs the back of his neck. Do you think we could even get this place ready in time? We kind of have to, don't we? You're not going to have as much time for home improvement projects once your internship starts, especially with the commute. As for me, I'll be working remotely for a law office in the city, transcribing client interviews and drafting declarations. I'll be by myself at the lake house most weekday afternoons, and I won't even pretend I'm not looking forward to the quiet. Look, I say, if we can show your dad that we're willing to respect his wishes, he might let us invite more people over in the future. After a long pause, Ollie finally concedes with a shrug. I guess it's worth a shot. We can ask him about it tonight. Tonight? My pulse picks up at the thought of seeing Dr. Ransom again so soon after our awkward dinner. I thought he wasn't coming up until tomorrow. Sometimes he takes Fridays off. He texted to let me know he'll be bringing back pizza for dinner. He asked what kind of toppings you like. I told him we both like pepperoni. Oh. A soft, fluttery feeling rushes through me like a refreshing chill on a hot day. I have no reason to look forward to seeing Ollie's dad again, beyond an appreciation for yet another free meal. But I am looking forward to seeing him. It's ridiculous and silly and inappropriate, but also warm and fuzzy and nice. That's nice of him, I say, trying to sound impartial about the fact that Dr. Ransom thought to ask about my food preferences. I smile into my glass of sweet tea, feeling like a kid with a crush, nervous and giddy. But I know this can't go any further than that, even if our conversations did seem to border on flirty at dinner. I have to keep these feelings to myself, for Ollie's sake as much as my own. Living under the same roof as your crush is one thing. Living under the same roof as your best friend's attractive dad who knows what your vagina looks like is another thing entirely.
Chapter 4. Evan. In the end, I agreed to let Oliver and Natasha invite some friends over for a Saturday barbecue. Did you remember to pick up hot sauce? Oliver yells. I glance up from the novel I'm struggling to focus on as Oliver and Natasha pad around the house making last-minute preparations for their gathering. It's in the pantry, Natasha calls back from the kitchen. I've parked myself in the private office I've set up in the smallest of 5 bedrooms, resolved to keep myself scarce. Despite my initial reservations, I must admit I'm impressed by the work they've accomplished over the last 2 weeks. My lake house has been completely transformed. Gone is the moth-eaten furniture, stained carpets, and hideous wallpaper. Oliver and Natasha not only stripped the house down to its bare bones, but they also dressed it back up with fresh paint and floor polish. They even washed the damn ceilings. When I realized just how serious they were about making improvements, I gave them the go-ahead to shop for new furniture at my expense. I already knew Natasha was organized, but she proved instrumental in coordinating our schedules to ensure someone would always be at the house to greet the plumber, electrician, cable, and delivery men when they showed up. I don't see it, Oliver says. Second shelf down on the right. After a short pause, he replies, Oh, found it. I bristle as the pantry door slams. I knew when I agreed to let them host a gathering that I would be giving up my weekend of relaxation and peace after a long, busy work week. But I'm willing to make that sacrifice. Repairing my relationship with my son is worth the minor inconvenience upon my schedule. Leaving the comfort of my private office, I follow the sounds of frenzied mixing and chopping into the kitchen, where I find Oliver and Natasha locked in a discussion about condiments. I lean against the doorframe and wait for them to finish, letting my gaze roam over her bare, shapely legs. Natasha catches me staring, her smile lighting up the room. Hi, Dr. Ransom. I fold my arms across my chest. We share a vacation home, Natasha. You can call me Evan. Sure, she says, just as soon as you start calling me Nat. My lips curve upward before I can school them straight. Are you planning to eat with us? Oliver's cool demeanor stands in stark contrast to Natasha's warmth, but I don't let it get to me. I knew rebuilding our relationship would take time and effort. Of course he's welcome to eat with us, Natasha says, shooting Oliver a firm look. He's letting us host a barbecue at his house. Thank you, Natasha, I say with a grateful smile, but I plan on eating dinner in my office. I just wanted to remind you that while I'm allowing you to serve beer at this party, that doesn't mean I'm condoning underage drinking. I can't help but look at Natasha. 5 people hardly counts as a party, Oliver mumbles. Natasha ignores him and nods in understanding. I won't drink, she says. I promise. Good. I watch her for a moment longer, taking in the swish of the blue sundress as it twirls around her bronzed thighs. Is that all you wanted to say? Oliver asks, looking impatient. I force myself to look away from Natasha as a knot forms in the pit of my stomach. It's not the drinking I'm worried about, although that certainly is a factor. It's the fact that I don't know whether she intends to have sex during this party, and I can't ask her about it without coming off as inappropriately invested in her sex life. Probably because I am inappropriately invested in her sex life. I'll be in my office if you need me, I tell them. I steal one last glance at Natasha's backside. The thought of another man grabbing handfuls of her voluptuous ass sends a flood of hot jealousy coursing through me. I stride back to my office before I have a chance to do something ridiculous, like drag her to my bedroom and lock her inside, away from the undeserving pricks who wouldn't know a clitoris from a coccyx. 3 guests arrive over the next half hour, 2 guys and a girl, all around Oliver and Nat's age. I watch them out on the deck through the window in my office. One of the guys is clearly interested in Oliver, but he's not the one I've got my eye on. Natasha smiles prettily at the 2 remaining guests, and although she's clearly friendly with both, it's the lanky guy with chin-length hair who can't take his eyes off her assets. My book all but forgotten, I watch the group eat and socialize. After a little while, they strip down to their swimsuits and head down to the dock for a swim. Natasha is flawless in her light blue bikini, her soft belly and thick thighs glistening in the afternoon sun. Her laughter echoes up from the dock, where she and the other girl splash and chase each other. Just when I'm starting to feel like a creepy old man for watching them, the guy with long hair wraps his arms around Natasha and pulls her into the water. My book drops to the floor as I leap up from my chair. Natasha isn't yours, I remind myself. You have no claim on her. She invited this guy to the lake house because she wants him here. I watch Natasha climb back onto the dock wearing an expression of annoyance. The long-haired guy tries to follow her up the ladder. At the last second, she turns and pushes him into the lake with a self-satisfied smile. My chest rocks with a sharp, sudden laugh. Good girl. Later, after the group has finished eating, I slip out of my office and make my way to the kitchen to fix myself a burger. Conversation drifts into the house through the screen door. I hear my son and his companion, as well as their female friend, but I don't hear Natasha or the long-haired guy she pushed into the lake. Where the hell could they be? My pulse kicks into high gear as I glance out at the dock. No one there. I check the living room and then backtrack to Natasha's bedroom. Both empty. Then I hear a male voice coming from the guest bedroom at the end of the hall. You guys painted the entire house? I peer into the room to find Natasha and the long-haired boy standing so close together. He might as well have had his arm wrapped around her shoulders. She's put her sundress back on over her bikini. We did, yeah. Natasha grips both her elbows in a defensive posture. Most of the furniture is brand new, except for a few antiques. My gaze narrows as I assess the boy. He's slender and tall, with an easy lopsided smile. Is this the sort of guy Natasha's into? A pretty boy, barely out of diapers. Would he know the first thing about making a young woman like her feel good? Jealousy swirls inside me like smoke. I take a deep breath to try and dissipate the feeling, but the effort is futile. As soon as the guy brushes his hand across Natasha's forearm, I can't think, can't feel. I can only act. I step inside the room, my footfalls drawing their attention to the doorway. Natasha's gasp is soft but unmistakable. Dr. Ransom, she says. The words rumble up from my chest like a growl. Can I help you two find something? Toby just wanted a tour of the house. She takes a small step back from the boy at her side. I cut my gaze toward Toby. Is that so? Your house is really something, sir. Toby glances at Natasha as he says this, and the insinuation that she is in fact really something might be accurate, but it still makes me want to snap the boy in half. Yes, she is, I say, my voice deeper and more threatening than it has any right to be. Natasha laughs awkwardly. Toby chugs the rest of his beer before crushing the can in his hand. She winces, clearly not impressed. Okay then, he says. I'm gonna grab another beer. Want me to get you anything, Nat? No, thanks, Natasha says softly. I'll be out in a minute. I move aside to let Toby through the doorway and then step into the room. Natasha studies me thoughtfully for a moment, her pretty pink lips pursed into a bow shape. We've been following your rules, Dr. Ransom. I haven't had anything to drink. I know, because I've been watching you all night. She squints at me. Then what's the problem? There's no problem. Okay. She crosses her arms below her breasts. Then why do you look pissed? My feet move of their own volition until I'm standing toe-to-toe with the confused girl before me. You look beautiful tonight, Natasha. She blinks, her lips parting slightly. You... what? She runs a hand through her damp hair, gathering it onto one shoulder. Thanks. My thoughts spring back to Toby and how close he was to her. Close enough to kiss her if he wanted to. That boy looked like he was about to kiss you, I say. She sighs. Yeah, I got that impression too. Did you want him to? Maybe, she shrugs. I mean, I used to want that. The mental image of Toby's lips on hers fills my body with all kinds of tension. I'm beginning to regret not going to the gym today. I'd give anything for a stiff drink or a punching bag or something to get this feeling out of my system. I'm glad you didn't, I tell her. Why? I fumble for any reason other than the truth. Because you'd be making a mistake. Natasha balks. With all due respect, Doctor. Evan, She inhales sharply through her nose. "Evan," she says tersely. "What would you know about it? You just met him." I meet a lot of people in my line of work, which means I have a lot of practice when it comes to making quick character assessments. I lean in close, catching a whiff of her perfume mixed with a hint of sunscreen. "What do you think Toby's plans are for the summer, Natasha? Because I bet the deed to this house that he's not thinking beyond the next 10 minutes. Is that what you really want, after all your careful planning? 5 minutes of sloppy, beer-flavored kisses and some lazy tit groping, followed by a 30-second pump session? Is that how you pictured your first time playing out?" She flinches, and I almost regret being so blunt. Almost. "What the hell is wrong with you, Evan? Why aren't you saying the exact same shit to Oliver? Is it because I'm a girl? I can't be trusted to make my own choices because I have a uterus instead of a dick and balls?" "No," I say through clenched teeth. "It's because you're..." The truth crouches on the edge of my tongue, caged only by my teeth. "Because I'm what?" I press my hand to the small of her back as I close the last few inches between us. Her chest heaves. She's as confused as she is affronted, but she's not backing down from this. I close my fist around her hair and watch her eyes widen as I tilt her head back. "Because you're mine, Natasha." She gasps. "Evan." I steal her breath in a hungry kiss, devouring her the way I've been dying to for weeks. It's been a long while since I kissed anyone, but kissing Natasha feels like coming up for air, as if all this time I've been drowning and she's the only one who can save me. She grasps my shirt and pulls me closer, her legs parting enough for me to wedge my hips between them at the perfect angle for my hard cock to rub against her through her clothes. I nip her bottom lip and soothe the sting with my tongue, knowing that her kiss is not enough. I want more, but this moment isn't about me. It's about giving Natasha everything she deserves. I press hot, open-mouthed kisses along her jaw until I reach her ear. "You are the most alluring woman I have ever met," I rasp, nibbling her earlobe. "Your ass has been taunting me for days." To emphasize my point, I grip her backside hard enough that she whimpers. This world-class ass and this soft belly, these full tits, I'd give anything to watch your whole body bounce as you ride my dick. "You would?" she asks, breathless. I hear the doubt in her voice, and I growl as I capture her mouth again. "In a heartbeat, Natasha." She moans as I thrust against her, causing the skirt portion of her dress to bunch between her legs. "That feels good, Evan." "How good? Tell me." I trail kisses down her neck to the swell of her breasts. "It feels like a promise, like part of you is desperate to get inside me." I hum low in my throat. "Do you want me inside you, Natasha? Do you want mine to be the first cock to fill you up?" Her whimper is all the confirmation I need, but her breathy "yes" is music to my ears. I want that too, baby. I slide her straps down, exposing her blue bikini top. She watches me knead her breasts through the fabric until her nipples are stiff enough to pinch. "But first I want you dripping wet for me, just like you were during your first appointment." She bites her lips together, obviously embarrassed. "You could tell how turned on I was." "Oh yes, sweetheart. While you were working overtime to hide your feelings, your pussy was telling me all your secrets, just like your nipples are now." Her breath hitches as I reach behind her neck to untie the straps holding up her bikini top. It takes a few seconds to loosen the knot, but the reward is more than worth the effort. The thin blue fabric falls away, baring her nipples and the fairer skin around them to my gaze. Natasha moans as I skim my thumbs over the stiff peaks. "So fucking sensitive," I growl. She gasps as I suck one of her nipples into my mouth, arching her body against me. I flick my tongue across the hardened bud until she's tugging on my hair with both fists. "Please, Evan," she begs. "I need more.
Down there.
You want me to touch your pussy, Natasha? She nods. I back her against the edge of the guest bed and then ease her onto the quilt. The sight of her spread out before me, flushed and panting with her tits out, is erotic as fuck. Her hooded gaze drops to my cock, hard and aching behind my zipper. She wets her bottom lip. Fuck, baby girl. I groan. You're gonna give this old man a heart attack if you keep looking at me like that. A desperate, pleading look takes hold of her features. I cup her jaw and study her for a long moment. You like it when I call you baby girl? I ask. Her throat shifts as she gulps.
Yes, Dad.
She bites back the word. At first, I think she meant to call me Dr. Ransom, but that wouldn't explain the glow filling her cheeks. What did you just think to call me? She shakes her head.
It's too embarrassing.
Nothing's too embarrassing to discuss between a doctor and his patient. I skim my thumb along the edge of her bottom lip. Tell me, Natasha. I know what she's going to say before she even opens her mouth, but that doesn't stop me from holding my breath.
Daddy,
she whispers. My heart clenches. I gaze down at her gorgeous face as heat radiates from my chest out to every part of my body. I've dabbled in BDSM before, but Natasha is the first person to call me daddy. I suspect if anyone else had tried using the term, I wouldn't have liked it. But the ache in my cock tells me I like it just fine when Natasha calls me daddy. If this is what she wants, what she needs, then it's what I want, what I need. Good girl, I say quietly. A soft whine falls from her lips as I lower myself on top of her. You're my baby girl. I growl between kisses. Daddy's gonna make his baby girl come so hard she sees fireworks. Please, Daddy, she whines, locking her legs around my hips and writhing against me.
Please don't stop, Daddy. It feels so good.
I tug her dress up to her hips, revealing the blue bikini bottoms hidden underneath. Fuck, she's already soaked through them. You're so fucking sexy, baby girl. Did you make all this honey for Daddy?
Yes,
she replies, biting her lip. I back off the bed and spread her legs wider, dying for a closer look at what's waiting for me beneath her swimsuit. I think Dr. Daddy needs a closer look, I tell her.
Yes, please.
I pull the ties at her hips and then undo the knots one at a time. My mouth waters as I peel back the scrap of fabric and come face to face with her pretty pussy for the second time. Your pussy looks perfect from here, baby girl, but I'd better taste you just to be sure. She nods vigorously, then yelps as I draw her ass to the edge of the bed. I bring my face close to her center and inhale deeply. She smells so good. I'm already salivating. Be a good girl and try not to make too much noise. I brush the pads of my fingertips along her slit a few times before parting her lips. She glistens in the lamplight. I dive in, dipping my tongue into her opening and prompting her to gasp. If I thought Natasha looked sweet, I'm pleased to report that she tastes even sweeter. I wrap my arms around her thighs as I lick her clit, over and over. She trembles, moaning into her palm, trying her best to keep quiet since we're not actually alone here. What we're doing here is reckless. It's not who I am, but the threat of being caught isn't enough to drag me away from her. Natasha deserves to feel good. I wrap my lips around her clit and suck hard. Her whole body tenses. She whines into her palm, humping my face as she shudders with the intensity of her orgasm. I lick her clit slowly, drawing out her pleasure without overstimulating her nerves. Finally, I lift my head and meet her gaze. That was beautiful, baby girl. I climb up her body, kissing her breasts, chest, and throat, until I seal the moment with a kiss on her lips. She wraps her arms around my neck and sighs.
Thank you, Daddy,
she whispers, cupping my cheek in her hand. She rocks against me from below, pressing her bare pussy to my straining cock. I shudder from the heat radiating between us. Fuck, baby. I need you. Then take me, Daddy. Groaning, I roll my hips between her thighs, not caring that I'm soaking the front of my pants with her honey. I want all of it. All of her. The sound of laughter from the hall makes us both freeze in place. Natasha's hooded gaze instantly widens into panic. Reality pierces the mental fog of arousal, driving me away from Natasha, who immediately begins rearranging her clothes until she's fully covered. Her gaze finds mine, seeking reassurance that this wasn't a mistake. But as the truth of what I've done washes over me, I realize I have none to give her. I clear my throat, adjusting my shirt so that it covers my erection and the wet spot on the front of my pants, then head for the door. "Evan, wait," Natasha says softly. I hesitate in the doorway, then turn to look at her. "You," I murmur, "deserve more than what I can give you." I leave then, with a pain in my chest unlike anything I've ever suffered before, feeling like the worst kind of coward for walking away when I want more than anything to stay with her. Chapter 5. Evan. It's difficult to avoid someone you share a house with. Seeing Natasha in the kitchen the next morning triggers an instant replay of all the ways and places I touched and tasted her the night before. What I did to her was wrong, I won't deny it. But the guilt I feel is a pinprick compared to the pleasure of making her come on my tongue. I steel myself as I pass her at the table on my way to the coffee pot. "Morning," I say quietly. After a brief pause, she says, "Good morning, Dr. Ransom." I suppose I deserve that. She sips from her own mug of coffee, refusing to so much as glance in my direction. Unlike my son, who refuses to put on clothes before noon, Natasha has opted for a bright orange tank top and denim cutoffs. Her upper body is practically screaming for my attention. "Is Oliver still asleep?" I ask, adding a splash of milk to my cup and then taking my regular seat at the table. "I assume so. His door's still closed." The silence hangs between us. I should leave early, head back to my apartment in the city, or attempt to sweat Natasha out of my system at the gym. But that would mean missing Sunday dinner with Oliver, and I'm not willing to do that. Besides, Natasha deserves an apology as well as an explanation. "Natasha, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry about what happened last night." "Which part?" She looks at me. "All of it." She flinches, and the hurt on her face hits like a right hook. "I moved back here to repair my relationship with my son," I say. "I didn't expect to meet someone like you, like me, someone I could really care about." I fight the urge to reach across the table and take her hand. "It won't happen again, Natasha. It can't." "No, you're right. It shouldn't happen again. It's not fair to Ollie. We don't keep secrets from each other. And you shouldn't have to. I deserve to be with someone I can be honest about." "Absolutely." She wraps both hands around her mug. "I think it's best if we pretend last night never happened." I agree. I say, like that's even an option. The smart move would be to stay as far away from Natasha as humanly possible. But the only way to do that is to either stop coming up here or ask her to move out. I'd never dream of making her leave when she hasn't done anything wrong. I'm the one who screwed up. No, she and Oliver are a package deal. She's staying. End of story. I'll just have to ignore my attraction to Natasha. Miss Bellows, Oliver's friend. God help me. My son and his best friend offered to cook me dinner as a thank you for letting them have friends over last night. Actually, it was Natasha who offered. Oliver only agreed to help when she pointed out how generous I've been these past few weeks. "You have to turn all the knobs to high," I tell him, then press the igniter. "I've got it," Oliver snaps. "I grilled the burgers last night, didn't I?" "I thought Natasha grilled them." "We both did." he grumbles. I run a hand down my face and stare out at the lake. Getting closer to my son is proving more difficult than I anticipated. I knew it would take more than a few dinners, but it's like he's erected a concrete wall between us that he has no interest in breaking down. Just when I should be thinking about how I can be a better father to my son, the universe throws me a curveball in the form of a beautiful woman half my age. I've spent the morning trying not to think about Natasha's lips, her breasts, the slice of heaven between her thighs. It's a vile, filthy thing to lust after my son's best friend. I should be ashamed of myself, but hearing her call me daddy last night felt undeniably right, even when I knew it was wrong. A warm shiver runs down my spine at the memory. She wanted to be my baby girl. The affection I feel for Natasha is a completely different beast from the complicated love I feel for my son. But no matter how many times I remind myself that she's not mine, that she can't be mine, it doesn't feel any less real. I steal a glance at her through the kitchen window, the pink sunset bringing out the auburn streaks in her chestnut brown hair. Her face glows golden in the early evening light. I want to run my hands all over her smooth, suntanned skin, up and down those thick thighs until she parts them for me. I want to do a lot of things to her that are decidedly off limits. Damn it! Oliver hisses, clicking the igniter for the 100th time. Why won't this damn thing light? Sighing, I rest my elbows on my knees and turn my attention to Oliver and the grill he's hopelessly trying to light. You're going to use up all the propane if you keep trying to light it like that, I say. Then we won't be able to cook anything. We won't be cooking jack shit if I can't get this stupid thing started. I told you, turn the knobs and then hit the igniter. That's what I'm doing. And check that you've got the propane line open. You should be able to see them in the air. He curses under his breath and tries again. The sound of the igniter clicking for the 100th time makes a muscle spasm in my neck. I rise and move toward him. There's the problem. You forgot to open the tank. With quick turns of my wrist, I turn all 3 knobs and press the igniter. The grill flames to life. There, see? He grumbles something about fathers not teaching him this shit. Oliver's words sting, probably because they're true. However, my pent-up frustration and barely concealed guilt have me on edge today. Do you have something to say, Oliver? I didn't quite catch that. He whirls on me. I said maybe if I had a dad who was actually around, I would be able to light a goddamn grill. I'm teaching you how to light it now. Walking over here and doing it for me is not teaching me. Well, maybe if you'd followed my directions, you would have gotten it right the first time. I press the pads of my fingers to the backs of my eyelids as my head starts to throb. I need water, a cold shower, sleep. Right, he snaps. Because you expect me to be perfect. I sigh, exasperated. I don't expect perfection of anyone, Oliver. Certainly not you. He recoils as though I've slapped him. I reach out for him. That's not what I meant. Both of you, enough. Natasha appears on the deck. Ollie, give your dad a break. That's not what he meant and you know it. He flinches. You're seriously taking his side? I'm not finished. She turns on me next, her nostrils flaring. And you, don't you think working with Ollie to light the damn grill would have been better than watching him try for 15 minutes? Your commentary was not helping. I gave him instructions. I say, I wanted him to figure it out on his own. Sitting on your ass while he struggles isn't helping him. She pauses for a deep breath. Ollie, you could have communicated your needs better. You should have asked for help with the grill instead of fumbling with it for so long. But, she looks to me, you've been gone for a long time, and although Ollie's words were ill-timed, he has a point. You haven't been around, and until you guys talk through your issues, it's going to be a thing between you. Shame flickers under my skin. It's like she's peering directly into my soul, counting my sins. I'm trying, I say softly. Her smile is sympathetic. I know you are. But it's not enough to do nice things for him. You guys have to talk about the hard stuff. I glance at Oliver, standing by the grill with his head down and his hands in his pockets. Got any tips for getting to the hard stuff? She squeezes my shoulder, and the touch warms my heart. Start by being present. You can't have a conversation if you aren't listening to what the other person is saying. And you've been in your head all day. More like you've been in my head all day, Natasha. I nod. You're right. I turn to my son. Oliver, I'm sorry I didn't handle the situation very well. I know I can be abrupt, but I'm going to try and do better. For both of us. He shrugs. Yeah, okay. Natasha loops her arm through his. We can all stand to do a little better, she says, meeting my gaze. Myself included. After a surprisingly pleasant dinner, Oliver heads down to the dock to make a phone call, leaving Natasha and me in the kitchen, elbow deep in warm water and suds. We work in tandem, her washing and rinsing the plates and grill tools while I dry them. I know I should be wary of how much I enjoy being alone with her, but I can't bring myself to feel anything but gratitude for her company. Thank you, I say, for what you said earlier. I think it really helped. You guys would have worked it out eventually. Suds roll to her elbows, dripping onto her clothes. With her hair swept up into a tousled summer bun, she looks effortlessly beautiful. I'm not so sure we would have. The two of you have a deep, loving connection. He trusts you. I really appreciate your help with him. I pause, struggling to put my emotions into words. I have always had difficulty being open about my own feelings. Maybe it's a doctor thing, wanting to stay strong for my patients. But with you, what about me? I shrug one shoulder as she hands me the final plate to dry. You make me want to be more open, not just with you, but with my son. I meant what I said before. I want to do better. I need to do better. So thank you for helping me realize that. Natasha smiles. I'm glad I could do that for you. I set the plate down and hand her a clean towel to dry her hands. Our fingers touch, and neither of us pulls away. You should think about going into mediation after law school, I tell her, only half joking. You'd be great at it. I don't know about that. She blushes faintly as she towels off her arms and pats at the soap suds clinging to her shirt. I'm hopeless enough at making my own decisions. I can get people talking, but when it comes to guiding them toward a resolution, don't discredit yourself. After law school, you'll have a lot of options. Mediation could be one of them. I'll think about it. She tucks a lock of hair behind her ear. I'm not sure when it happened, but she seems to have migrated a few steps closer to me. It's funny, you and Ollie are so certain I'm going to law school. Meanwhile, my own parents are shocked that I haven't dropped out of undergrad. Have you been struggling academically? She shakes her head. No, the opposite. I genuinely like school, but I'm the first person in my family to go to college. They don't see the point in taking on so much debt, which I understand. It's not the right choice for everyone. As she speaks, I can't stop staring at her mouth. How she nibbles her bottom lip while she's considering what to say next. Guess what I'm trying to say is, thank you for believing in me, Dr. Ransom. Without thinking, I reach out and cup her cheek. You make it easy to believe in you, Natasha. She leans in close enough that I can smell her shampoo. Caught up in the intoxicating aroma, I'm vaguely aware of my arms wrapping around her, pulling her body flush with mine. I shouldn't be doing this, but the way she's gazing up at me with those wide doll eyes makes me want to lift her onto the countertop, spread her legs, and dive in for a taste right before I ask whether hearing Daddy say he's proud of her makes her pussy tingle. But as sweet as I know Natasha is, I also know she's too sweet, too good for me. And as much as I want to be the man who can give her everything she needs, my hands are tied. I can't be Oliver's father and his best friend's daddy. Reluctantly, I pull away from her with a sinking feeling in my stomach. I'm sorry, Natasha. I don't know what came over me. She winces, then quickly replies. No, I'm sorry, Dr. Ransom. I shouldn't have let you get so close to me. I hate that she's apologizing when I'm the one who keeps fucking up. I seduced her last night, and again, just now. I'm the one playing hot and cold with her affections, pulling her in and then pushing her away each time I come to my senses. Don't blame yourself, Natasha. This was on me. I need to exercise better control when it comes to you. I march to the screen door in desperate need of fresh nighttime air. As I step out onto the deck, I hear Natasha whisper in a voice so quiet I'm certain I'm not supposed to hear. I like it when you take control of me, Evan.
Chapter 6. Natasha. I tap send on my last work email of the day and then close my laptop. Today's task list was relatively light, and I'm grateful for the reprieve, given how beautiful and hot it is outside. One of the advantages of working from home, aside from getting to wear shorts and tank tops to work, is that I can set up shop anywhere in the house. My favorite spot so far has been the comfy new couch in the living room. But after spending the morning and part of the afternoon in the air-conditioned chill, I'm ready to bake in the sun for a while. I drop my laptop off on my bed and then change into my white bikini. Ollie and I have been tanning steadily since our arrival, and the golden glow to my skin darkens every day. I like it. I've never been quite this tan before, and it gives me a boost of confidence. Instead of batting off my friend Haley's compliments about looking like a summer goddess, I'm actually starting to feel like one, too. After pouring myself a glass of iced tea, I step out onto the back deck with a book and a tube of my favorite shimmer sunscreen. As I rub the lotion beneath the straps of my top, I note how sharp my tan lines have grown. The paler skin glares at me like a neon sign pointing to all the places I long to be touched, and the man I long to be touched by. If I close my eyes, I can still feel his hands on my breasts and his lips on my neck, the hard length of him pressed against me. In the moment, it felt right. And calling him Daddy came as naturally as breathing. Then he pulled away, and I swore he took half of my heart with him. But later, in the secluded darkness of my bedroom, I realized it could never work between us. From the moment Evan walked into the restaurant that night, I had a secret, a big, Evan-shaped secret in the space between myself and my best friend. And that space grows bigger with each stolen kiss. There's no way to fix this other than to stop it before it goes any further. Ollie's dad can't be my daddy, too, no matter how badly Evan and I want him to be. Unfortunately, knowing our attraction is wrong hasn't made it easier to resist. If anything, it's become a constant itch just below the surface of my skin, one I can't quite scratch. Even now, I can't help skimming my fingertips over my nipples, recalling the feel of Evan's mouth around them. Biting my lip, I check the time on my phone. It's barely 4 o'clock. No one should be home for at least another hour and a half. I've got time to myself, and a rare moment of privacy out here on the deck. Like ripping off a Band-Aid, I shrug off my bikini top and drop it onto the deck beside my towel. The sun feels glorious on my bare chest, warm and loving like a caress. I trail my hands over my breasts, teasing my nipples and massaging sunscreen over the paler patches. A trill of pleasure ripples through me, and I follow the feeling down between my thighs, pretending my hands are Evan's hands, gliding over me. A moan escapes my lips as I rub my clit through my bikini bottoms, but the friction I crave is dulled by the fabric. After a second's deliberation, I pull my bottoms to the side so I can really touch myself. I'm already wet just thinking about his hands all over my body, his mouth on my breasts, his tongue on my clit. I'm close to coming when I hear the swish of the sliding screen door. My hand freezes. Shit! Ollie must have come home early. I grab my towel and scramble to drape it over my chest before Ollie sees me. This is hardly the first time one of us has walked in on the other in various stages of undress. But with everything that's happened this summer, I feel awkward. Sorry, I say quickly. I was just trying to even out my tan. I glance up with a shy smile, expecting to see my best friend. Evan stands over me, fully dressed in his work clothes, his eyes darker than I've ever seen them before. Natasha. My name is a deep groan on his lips. I shiver with a fresh flood of arousal as I note the balled fists at his sides. No doctor should be allowed to look this sexy. His dark hair tousled, his 5 o'clock shadow prominent along his jawline, and his muscles tight beneath his dress shirt. I let out a shaky breath as he takes a seat, not on the lounge chair beside me, but at the bottom end of mine, throwing his leg over the side so he can straddle the chair in front of me. The gesture is bold and brash and undeniably sexy. And of course, there's no missing the very prominent outline of his rock-hard cock tenting his slacks. I tell myself not to stare, but I can't help it. Not when he's this close, and I'm still so horny. Keep going, he commands, sitting perfectly still with his hands on his thighs. You were making the most beautiful sounds. My face heats up. I hadn't realized I was making any noise. I gasp as he slides his finger into the cleft of my cleavage, hooking the edge of the towel and drawing it away from my body. I said, keep going, Natasha. The edge in his tone, combined with the involuntary exposure, makes my nipples ache. Slowly, I cup my breast with one hand and smooth the other hand down into my swimsuit bottoms. Good girl. A smile plays on his lips. Now, show Daddy what you were doing. I spread my legs further apart, then gasp as he performs the familiar move with my bikini bottoms, hooking the fabric and pulling them aside so he can watch what my fingers are doing. When I touch my clit, my eyelids flutter closed and I moan, rubbing back and forth, knowing he can see everything. Beautiful, he rasps. Squeeze your nipple. That's it. Now take one finger. He growls as I beat him to the punch, sliding my middle finger through my folds and into my slick center. Fuck, Evan hisses. You make me so fucking hard, baby girl. I'm aching for you. Do you see? My gaze drops to the monster in his pants, straining to break free. I bring my fingers back up to my clit, spreading my wetness over the tight bud. Yes, I see it, Evan. I see. Do you wish it was me? His voice is a low rumble. Do you wish my hands were on your body right now? Yes, I whine, tears in my eyes as my muscles clench around nothing. God, yes. Say it, baby girl. I know what he wants me to say. I want to say it too, even if it hurts. Yes, Daddy, I want you to touch me. He's on me in an instant, sliding 2 fingers inside me, meeting no resistance. My eyes are open, but all I see is white as my senses overload. I come almost immediately, strumming my clit while he pumps his long, thick fingers in and out of my pussy. Evan moans as he brushes a hand down my cheek. "You are so fucking beautiful, Natasha." My vision clears the moment he kisses me, and I taste the desire on his lips. We moan into each other as our tongues mingle, but he holds his body over me, not touching me anywhere else. I want him to rest his weight upon me, to feel the hard planes of his body as he covers me, fills me. "Daddy," I breathe the word into his mouth. I want you to be my first." He cradles my jaw as his gaze searches mine. "Are you sure that's what you want, baby girl?" I nod. "Yes, I'm sure. I don't want anyone else but you." He moves off the chair, tugging me with him. "I've been dying to hear those words, Natasha." He picks up my discarded swim top and ushers me inside the house, leading me down the hallway into his bedroom. Evan shuts the door and then lays me down on the bed gently, brushing his fingertips down my chest. "I've wanted you from the moment we met," he rasps. He removes his clothes. I watch in rapture, seeing him bare for the first time. He doesn't go swimming with us, and I've never seen him slip outside to tan, never even seen him lift the hem of his shirt to wipe sweat from his brow. I'm seeing him naked for the first time now, and my God, he is gorgeous. All hard definition and masculinity. His cock is long and thick, and pointing straight at me, like it knows exactly where it needs to go. Evan's hands smooth over my legs as he crawls up the mattress to press a kiss to my belly. He hooks his fingers into the waistband of my bikini bottoms. "Time for these to come off, baby girl." Without pause, he tugs my bottoms down, 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 then tosses them away. I don't have time to be shy before his face is between my legs, his nose nudging my slit. "So fucking wet for me," he growls. I gasp as he claims my pussy with his mouth, sucking on my clit and wrenching a moan from my lips. His fingers pump inside me a few times before he curls them, repeating the motion until I'm a panting, whimpering mess clawing at his sheets. I can feel my orgasm building, the heat in my belly pooling, more and more and more with each stroke of his tongue. I'm lost before I can prepare myself, and my back arches so far off the bed that only the ends of my spine touch the mattress. I haven't finished coming down before Evan's on top of me, peppering kisses across my collarbone and up my neck, murmuring about how beautiful and perfect I am. "You're so fucking gorgeous."
We'll continue in a minute. First, give yourself a little rest. This audiobook is free, made for moments like this.
baby girl. I love making you come. I love being the first man to make you come. I feel his bare cock head rub against me, spreading my folds and gliding back and forth between my clit and my slick center. Unexpected panic seizes my muscles out of nowhere. This is it. What I've been waiting for. It's really happening. I hold my breath and brace for what's to come. Hey, Evan murmurs, cupping my face in his hand. Hey, it's okay, Natasha. I'm going to take care of you, I promise. I can't seem to form words, so I nod and spread my thighs wider. I'm ready, I mutter thickly, the ache inside me needing to be filled by the man above me, my best friend's dad, the caring, protective daddy to my sweet, nervous baby girl. Good girl, he breathes, kissing me gently. Such a good fucking girl. He goes slow, sliding his thick cock inside me inch by inch, until I feel like I'm about to split in two. I forget how to breathe. Fuck, you're tight, he groans. Deep breaths, sweetheart. I'm almost all the way inside. Christ, your pussy feels so fucking good around Daddy's cock. I love the way he says such dirty things. Breathing deeply, I wrap my arms around his shoulders to pull him closer and keep him here with me. I feel safe in Evan's arms, safe and warm and cherished. He pushes all the way in before pulling back out, then repeats the motion, going slow and steady. He kisses me deeply, claiming my full attention, until my whole world is Evan's mouth, his breath, his cock. I'm going to fuck you now, Natasha, he rasps, pressing his thumb to my bottom lip. It might hurt a little at first, but look at me, sweet girl. I gaze into his eyes, so dark and hungry, but also kind and understanding. He presses his forehead to mine. I'm going to make sure your first time means something, Natasha, because it means something to me. He hovers above me, holding my thighs in place. The angle shifts, and I gasp from the way his cock seems to fill me even more. You hear me, baby girl? I'm not just gonna fuck you once and then push you away. This thing between us is real, and it's bigger than anything we could have imagined. We'll find a way to make it work. Promise? I whisper, tears filling my eyes as hope swells in my chest. I promise, baby. I cry out as he plunges deep inside me in one swift motion. My muscles ache as they fight to stretch around his girth. His thrusts come steadily, and soon the sting subsides, morphing into something sweeter. A moment later, I'm rocking my hips to meet him thrust for thrust. Good girl, he growls. So fucking good for Daddy. Taking my cock, giving me that sweet virgin pussy. Our bodies slap together as he picks up the pace, fucking me harder and deeper. His gaze never leaves mine, and I'm as captivated by him as he is by me. I can't get enough of his intense expression, his tight abs, his hard shaft pumping in and out of me. But it's not just his body that has me wrapped. It's how much he cares for me, how intent he is on making sure I know this isn't a one-off. Pleasure erupts inside me as my muscles clench around Evan's cock. I throw my head back against the pillow. Fuck, I cry out. I'm gonna... Come for me, Natasha. Come on Daddy's cock. I do as commanded, my core tightening around him and pulling him over the edge with me. Evan groans as he buries his cock as far as it will go, coming inside me with harsh thrusts that nearly push me over the edge a fourth time. He kisses my open mouth, passionate and raw, all heat and teeth, before sliding off of me. I'm a rag doll in his arms, boneless and completely at his mercy as he holds me against his chest. Breathing shallow as he catches his breath, he smiles and kisses my shoulder. "How are you feeling?" he asks. "Checking in on me, Doc?" I tease. He chuckles. "I'm amazing. You're amazing. That was..." I'm at a loss for more words. I turn my head to kiss his cheek. "That was amazing. Thank you." "No need to thank me, baby girl. You were incredible." His hand travels the curve of my waist, the swell of my hips, then back again. I know this is new for both of us, but I can't help feeling like... The front door slams and we both jump. "Ollie," I whisper, meeting Evan's gaze. "He can't find us like this." He nods. "You're right." We disentangle from each other in a flurry of limbs and fumbled attempts at locating our clothes. "Top," I whisper harshly, scanning the floor. "Where's my..." Evan tosses my bikini top to me. I tuck my boobs inside and tug on my bottoms. "Am I good?" I ask, raking my fingers through my hair. He swipes a few stray strands behind my ear and leans in to kiss my forehead. "You're perfect," he says. My breath hitches at the tenderness in his gaze. "Evan." "Nat, you in here?" Ollie yells from somewhere in the house. "I've got to go," I whisper to Evan. Holding my breath, I open the door slowly and then make a run for it, dashing into my bedroom and shutting the door behind me with a soft click. My heart is still beating a mile a minute when Ollie knocks. "Come in," I say. "Hey, what are your plans for..." Ollie's eyes widen in surprise as he takes in my appearance. You okay? You're looking a little red there. Were you working out?" "Sit-ups," I lie, pulling my hair up into a messy bun. "Out on the patio. Got kinda hot, so I came inside." My chest aches at the lie, but what else can I say? "Actually, bestie, I'm still coming down from the pounding your dad gave me not 10 minutes ago." "Yeah, no." "Okay," Ollie says, not even bothering to question my flimsy excuse. And why would he? I'm like a sister to him. He has no reason to suspect me of harboring a friendship-destroying secret. A rush of emotion hits me as Ollie launches into a story about his workday. I smile and nod like I'm listening, when in actuality, it's taking all of my strength not to burst into tears. Something wonderful has just happened to me. The monumental, life-changing emotional event I've been fantasizing about for years. And the person who would be the most excited for me is the one person I can't tell. "Hello, Earth to Nat. Are you listening?" "Yeah," I tell Ollie, forcing a smile. "Yeah, sounds great. Whatever you want." He raises an eyebrow. "Hun, it's what we want, remember? I'm gonna need your help convincing my dad. He likes you more than me. You'll definitely have a better chance getting him to agree to it than I would by myself." "What?" I laugh awkwardly. "That's ridiculous. He loves you." "Yeah, but he'll shoot me down if I ask him if we can throw a slightly larger gathering next weekend. I need you there with me if we're going to have any chance of selling this." "Right, okay. I'm there, of course." "This could be a big night," Ollie says, bouncing over to me to squeeze my upper arms. It could be the night. I stare at him, not fully comprehending what he's trying to say. He rolls his eyes, still smiling. Yeah, okay, play coy. But I know you still want to get laid. Don't worry, I'll be sure to tell Toby how much you're looking forward to seeing him again. Ollie winks at me, his smile broadening into a sly grin. Unease settles in the pit of my stomach, but I return the smile and try to look excited as he begins devising how we're going to convince Evan to let us throw a real party. I don't have the heart to try and discourage Ollie from trying to deceive his dad. I wouldn't even know what to say. This was our plan from the beginning. He'll know something's off if I try to back out now. I just hope I can keep all the lies straight. Chapter 7. Natasha. The next few days pass in a bittersweet blur of heated hallway kisses and intimate caresses whenever we find a moment alone. Tongue, teeth, hands. Evan uses every tool at his disposal to make sure I'm never left wanting for long. Some nights, he drives to the lake house after work to join us for dinner before returning to his apartment in the city. And in the one sweet hour we have alone before Ollie gets home from work, he reminds me just how much he adores my body. He can't get enough, and I'm quickly becoming just as addicted to the taste of him on my lips, the feel of his hands on my hips, and the way he rocks into me like we were made for each other. It's almost perfect. The one thing that would make it so is if we didn't have to hide from Ollie. Lying to my best friend, especially about something as important as this, eats away at me. Wanting Evan and being wanted in return feels like the biggest betrayal of my life. He's Ollie's dad, but he makes me feel safe and desired and feminine and happier than I've ever been. I know I have no right to be this happy, but things are going so well with Evan. We've talked about how we want to tell Ollie the truth, how long we should wait, if it would be better to tell him before or after school starts back up in the fall. In truth, we're both terrified of losing Ollie, so we've agreed to continue seeing each other in secret. But the lying gets harder every day. Lying to Ollie about his dad, lying to Evan about Ollie's plans to throw a big party. The knots in my stomach grow tighter and more tangled the closer we get to the weekend. Ollie's plan worked. We've successfully convinced Evan to allow us to invite a few more people over this Thursday evening while he's not around, so long as things don't get out of hand. No underage drinking, no drunk swimming, the usual dad concerns. But what Evan doesn't know is that the guest list is actually 4 times longer than the one we pitched. You look like you're gonna barf and you haven't even started drinking yet, Ollie says to me. I load a few more beers into the cooler on the deck. I'm just worried something's going to get broken. It'll be fine, Nat. He fits the lid on the cooler and then squeezes my shoulders. We're finally gonna have a real party. Just promise me this thing won't go past 2 a.m. I promise we'll wrap things up by dawn. Ollie, I say with a tone of warning. He laughs and kisses my temple. I know why you're freaking out, Nat. You're nervous about finally losing your V-card tonight. Don't worry, I'll make sure you and Toby aren't disturbed. Guilt stabs my insides like a period cramp. That's not why I'm freaking out. The sound of a car engine growling up the driveway averts Ollie's attention. He pulls me into a side hug. "Sounds like our first guests have arrived," he says. "I promise, this is gonna be fun." By the time the last car pulls onto the front lawn, I'm fully convinced that this party was a terrible idea. I make my way through the crowd of people dancing and chatting on the deck, picking up any empty beer bottles and red plastic cups I come across. Music blares from Bluetooth speakers, so loud I can barely hear my own thoughts. I reach for my phone and discover it's not in my back pocket. 3 songs later, I still have no idea where I set it down. Shit, I mutter. I see my friend Haley dancing down on the dock and make my way over to her. "Do you know what time it is?" I ask her. She pulls her phone from her cleavage and taps on it. 10 of midnight. Why?" "I think the music's too loud for this time of night. We have neighbors. I'm worried someone's going to call the cops." "Whose phone is connected to the speakers?" "Ollie's, I think." I head back toward the bonfire to where Ollie stands with a group of people. "Ollie!" I yell over the pounding bass, waving my hand in the air. "Hey, Oliver!" "Hey!" He throws both his hands in the air. His dance partner, Logan, takes the opportunity to put his hands on Ollie's hips and slide up behind him, getting intimately close. I'm almost embarrassed to watch as they rock their hips in perfect rhythm to the music. But I steel my nerves and grab my best friend's hand anyway. "We need to turn the music down," I shout. He seems to sober up a little, but not enough to get him to stop dancing. "Someone's going to call the cops." "Okay, Mom," he giggles. "I'll let the DJ know." I roll my eyes. "Where's your phone?" "I don't know. Logan, where's my phone?" "I think it's on my dick," Logan says. They both start laughing. "Ollie," I say harshly to get his attention, "turn the music down." "Nah, dance with us." He grasps my hand and tries to get me to dance. I pull away, frustrated, and about ready to lock myself in my room until everyone leaves. "Just give me your phone," I yell. He fishes his phone out of his pocket, fails to unlock it twice, then hands it to me. "You really need to chill." "I'm chill," I snap. "Totally chill." I unlock Ollie's phone with his PIN and lower the music volume, prompting a bunch of people to start booing. Among his notifications, I spot 2 unread text messages from his dad. Before I can pull them up, he takes his phone back. "Take a selfie with me," he says. "Take one with Logan." I direct Ollie's attention to his eager dance partner and head back to the house to perform more damage control. Thankfully, most of the party guests have managed to keep their trash in the vicinity of the bins. I pick up a crushed beer can and toss it into the recycling, frowning at a stain on the linoleum. After all the work we put into the house, it's painful to see the condensation rings on the wood furniture and the beer splashed on the hardwood. I tie up a garbage bag and haul it toward the back door. Just when I think my luck might be shifting in my favor, Toby walks into the kitchen. "Nah, baby, I've been looking all over for you," he slurs. "Where have you been hiding?" "Nowhere, Toby. I've been right here the whole time." I paste a tight smile onto my face as I plop the garbage bag down by the steps in the garage. "You're funny," he murmurs, placing his arm around my waist like it belongs there. Everything about the gesture feels wrong. I ease out of his grip as gracefully as I can. Listen, Toby, I'm glad you came tonight, but things have changed. His expression slowly shifts from a lazy smile to confusion.
What are you talking about?
I've changed my mind about us. I step up to the sink to wash my hands. I've still got my hands under the tap when Toby leans in close enough that I can smell the alcohol on his breath.
You know, it doesn't have to mean anything, he says. We could just fuck.
Good God, what did past me ever see in this guy? I'm good, thanks. I dry my hands on a paper towel. A headache lurks behind my eyes, made worse by the pounding bass just outside. I need a second of peace, away from the crowds, away from Toby. Now that the music is no longer blasting and most of the spills have been sopped up, I feel like I can disappear for a little while without risking total home destruction. I make a beeline for my bedroom, expecting to be able to plop down on my bed. Instead, I find a couple I don't even know heavily making out on top of it. Get out! I yell, holding the door open for them. When they stare at me without moving, I gesture for them to leave. Out of my room now, people. They bitch and moan on their way out. As soon as they're gone, I throw the door closed and immediately strip off my comforter. I'm under the blanket with my face pressed to the pillow when I hear a knock on the door. I sigh heavily and turn over, ready to tell whoever's knocking to go away. But the door opens before I can respond.
Hey,
Toby says, his easy smile back in place.
You look good tonight. Did I tell you that?
No, I say flatly. I actually need a minute alone, Toby. So could you close the door on your way out?
I was thinking,
he says, stumbling into my room and ignoring my request.
We never got that kiss from last time.
I blink up at him. That's okay. We really don't have to.
Oliver told me you were nervous about your first time.
Toby slurs, taking a seat on my bed. I wonder how drunk Ollie was when he said that. I draw my legs in close, trying to put distance between myself and Toby. I'm not nervous. I'm tired and uninterested. Can you please go?
It's okay, he says. You don't have to be embarrassed. I'll take good care of you. She said, get out.
Evan stands in the doorway, jaw set, with a murderous glint in his eye. My heart leaps at seeing him, and then I immediately start to panic. The party, Toby in my room. Oh, God. He grabs Toby by the shirt and shoves him out the door, then slams the door shut. My mind reels as he turns back to me, his expression hard. I'm so sorry about the party, Evan. Ollie and I'll clean up as soon as everyone's gone.
I don't give a damn about the party.
He climbs on the bed and grasps my hands, pinning me to the mattress. He attacks my lips with a growl, devouring my gasp before I've even processed what's happening. He bites my bottom lip hard enough to hurt, wrenching a yelp from my throat.
I'm tired of people thinking you're fair game, Natasha,
he rasps, dragging his teeth down my neck.
Do I need to remind you who you belong to?
There's a wildness to his tone that makes me tremble. I clench my thighs together and bite my lip at the look of raw jealousy in his gaze. I belong to you, Daddy.
He sighs into my neck, weaving his fingers into my hair and gripping tightly. He tilts my head back, forcing me to meet his deep, dark, smoldering gaze. That's right, you're my baby girl, and I don't ever want to see another guy in your bedroom. Is that understood? The yes I'm able to give is little more than a whimper, but he seems satisfied. Good girl, he growls. Now, turn over. He gives me just enough space and freedom of movement to roll onto my stomach. My pulse races as he grabs my hips and tows me onto my knees. I moan softly as he presses his groin firmly against my ass. Feel how hard I am already, baby girl? When I don't respond immediately, he smacks my ass. I yelp, "Yes, Daddy." He peels my shorts down to my knees, then sucks in a breath. I know my panties are soaked. So wet for Daddy. Slowly, he rubs the damp patch between my legs. Do you want me to fuck you like this? From behind. No foreplay. Just my cock and your glorious ass. I moan as he cups my pussy with his whole palm, pressing lightly. Yes, I whisper. I bite my lip as he rubs my center in slow, teasing strokes. Yes, what? Yes, Daddy. I want you to fuck me like this. I'm not going to go slow either, he growls. I'm going to pound your pussy hard and fast until you scream my name loud enough that everyone outside that door hears it. So that everyone at the party knows what a dirty girl you are. God, yes. My heart hammers in my chest. I hear the clink of his belt buckle and the purr of his zipper sliding down. But before I can even register the sound of the door opening, I hear my best friend's frantic voice. Nat, we've got to get everyone out. My dad's coming. I glance over my shoulder and find Ollie standing in the doorway, a look of horror and confusion on his face. What the fuck is... Oh, God. He groans, one hand covering his eyes and the other covering his mouth. What the fuck are you two doing? Thankfully, Evan has the quick reflexes to pull my shorts back up for me before rebuckling his own belt. Oliver, Evan says, let me explain. Dad, what the fuck are you doing here? Ollie searches my gaze for answers. Have you been fucking my dad this whole time, Nat? Guilt and shame wrap around my throat. Ollie, please. You lied to me. Ollie points a finger at both of us. I knew something was up. You said you moved back here for me, but I knew there had to be another reason you stuck around. He spins on his heel, stumbles into the doorframe, then runs off down the hall. I rush after him, pushing past drunk and confused party guests who ask me what's wrong with Ollie. When I finally catch up to him, he's on the beach in front of the neighbor's house. Ollie, stop. Just talk to me. I can't believe this, he roars, kicking at the sand. You and my dad. How could you? Tears flow down my cheeks. I'm sorry. You're sorry? That's all you have to say? He rounds on me, getting in my face. How long have you been fucking him? Since we moved in? Tell me. We didn't. Not at first. Oliver? Evan calls. He jogs up to us, panting. Please, son, let's talk about this. I don't want to talk to you, Ollie shouts. That's fine, Evan says. Just don't blame Natasha. This is my fault. I crossed a line. We both did, I say. And I'm so sorry, Ollie. I know I should have told you sooner. It shouldn't have happened at all, Nat. He's my dad. He whirls on Evan. And she's my best friend. You just had to fuck my best friend? We didn't mean for it to happen. I take a deep, fortifying breath before I continue. Evan was the doctor I saw the day when you dropped me off for my appointment. I didn't know who he was until he showed up at dinner, and I was too embarrassed to say anything. Ollie's expression softens slightly, realization flickering across his features. He was your doctor? For that one appointment, yes, I tell him. Then, before I knew it, we were all moving in together and things became even more complicated. We tried to fight it, Evan says. I tried. But I couldn't help falling for Natasha. My heartbeat stutters. The raw emotion on his handsome face is almost too intense to look at. He's not just saying the words for Ollie's sake. He loves me. Oliver, you know better than anyone how special she is, Evan says. Ollie glares at his father. Yeah, I do. He's quiet for a long moment, his gaze trained on the black lake. Finally, he turns to me. I believe you didn't mean to hurt me, Nat. But now you have to choose, him or me. My throat clenches. What? I said, Ollie repeats coldly. You need to choose. One of us is leaving tonight. You decide who. I wrap my arms around my middle, unable to shake the sense that I've been backed into a corner. Ollie, you can't ask me to do that. Come the fuck on, Nat. Are you gonna keep fucking my dad? Or are you gonna be my friend? He takes a gasping breath. You can't have it both ways. I'll go, Evan says. You two stay. No. Cold dread wraps around my heart. I look at Ollie, my best friend, my brother in all the ways that count. Then I look at Evan, my daddy, the man who makes me feel like the most precious gift a person could ask for. Tears prick my eyes, and I hastily wipe them away. I love them both, for different reasons, but I love them both so much. These past few weeks, my heart has been filled to the brim and overflowing. Choosing between them is impossible. I can't, I whisper. I can't choose. Can't or won't, Ollie snaps. Neither. Both. I turn a tearful eye toward Evan. You both mean too much to me, and I can't stand to lose either one of you. So I'm not going to choose. I start walking. Natasha. Evan reaches for me, but I shake my head and continue past him. Where are you going? Ollie shouts after me. You're seriously walking away right now? You said one of us had to leave, I remind him. Tonight, it's going to be me. I manage to hold in my sobs until I reach my bedroom. My tears flow freely as I pack an overnight bag with my work laptop and whatever clothes I can stuff inside. Someone knocks on the door the same moment I pull it open, and I nearly run right into Haley. You all right? She asks, her freckled face streaked with worry. I heard
I don't know exactly what I heard, but I came to check on you. Thanks, I sigh, rubbing my cheeks. I just need to get out of here. Can I stay at your place for a while? Of course. Haley helps me carry my bags outside. Most of the party guests have already scattered like weeds in the wind after the big blow-up. And the ones who are left are all looking at me with either curiosity or contempt. Evan finds me just as I'm ducking into Haley's Camry. He catches the door before I can pull it shut. Natasha, please don't go. I have to, Evan. Your relationship with your son is too important to walk away from. And he'll never forgive either of us if I choose you. So you're leaving both of us then. That's your choice. I'm giving you the chance to finally have that talk with your son. I take his hand and squeeze it gently. I don't know if there's any hope for the three of us, but I know there's no fixing us until the two of you work through your issues. I start to close the car door. Evan catches the frame, holds it open. I love you, Natasha. My chest tightens as a fresh flood of tears threatens to fall. I know you do, I say, and you love Ollie, too. But he's hurting. You've been hurting him for years now. You're right, I have, he says, his expression torn. I'm not proud of it, but I don't want to lose you, Natasha. I don't want to lose you either, but choosing you would just give Ollie yet another reason to hate you. I won't do that to you. A painful understanding passes between us. Evan nods. I'll talk to him, he says. I'll make this right. I don't know whether this situation can ever be made right, but I don't have the heart to rain on his newfound determination. As much as it hurts me to do it, I shut the door on Evan. Ready to leave? Haley asks me. No, I'm not, I say. But it's time to go.
Chapter 8. Evan. The days pass in a dull haze without Natasha. I go to work and the gym. I pump extra iron and pack more patients into my already busy schedule, all in an effort to wear myself out. None of it helps. I'm still up at all hours of the night, thinking about everything that happened this summer, turning the events over and around in my head like I'm looking for the reset button. But there's no coming back from this. I fell in love with my son's best friend, and now I'm facing the consequences of that inappropriate love. The guilt, the pain, the longing. It's been 2 weeks since I watched Natasha drive off. I don't know where she's staying. She won't return my calls or texts. And the one person who might know where she is isn't speaking to me either. I tried talking to Oliver the day after the party, but the wound was too fresh, too raw. I hate you, he shouted, his voice echoing off the walls in the beer-scented kitchen. That's fine, I said. Hate me all you want. I deserve it. He shoved his chair back and began pacing back and forth across the sticky linoleum. I'm such a fucking idiot, he muttered. I actually thought you were coming up every weekend to see me, but you were really just coming to see her. I wanted to see both of you. Why should I believe you? Because it's the truth. I know I've been absent, neglectful. I've missed so many important moments in your life. And I hate that I can't change that. I can't go back and be there for you then, but I want to be here for you now. Why? Because you're my son, and I love you. He shook his head, eyes full of disdain. I wish you'd stayed gone. Oliver drove off shortly after that. I left too, and I haven't been back to the lake house since. Instead, I've been haunting my Knoxville apartment like a ghost. Sunday mornings are when I feel her absence the most. I come back from the gym and immediately hop into the shower, grateful for the white noise drowning out the silence. Though Natasha has never visited me here, somehow it feels emptier than before. I can usually distract myself well enough to ignore the pang of missing her, but today I feel it like an open wound, the need to be close to her, even if it's only her scent on the sheets. I'm in the car driving north before I realize where I'm heading. When I pull up to the lake house, I'm surprised to see Oliver's car parked in the driveway. He's on his way out the door with a duffel bag slung over his shoulder. I step out of the car, bracing myself for whatever he might throw at me, secretly hoping for anger over silence. "How have you been?" I ask him. Oliver stares at me for a while, unmoving. Finally, he says, "Okay, good, that's good." I pause. "Where have you been staying?" "With Logan." "In the city?" He nods. After a long, taut silence, he clears his throat and asks, "Have you heard from Nat?" My chest tightens. I shake my head no. "Have you?" "Not a peep." He seems genuinely hurt by this, and I know exactly how he feels. Oliver sucks in a breath and takes a step toward his car. Panic surges through me. This can't be the last time I see my son. I have to do something. "Wait, Oliver." I approach him slowly, like the wounded animal he is, and rest a gentle hand on his shoulder. "I'm so sorry. We shouldn't have lied to you." "You're not sorry that it happened?" "No, I realize. I'm not. I regret how you found out, but I don't regret a moment of the time I got to spend with Natasha. I'm sorry if that hurts you." Oliver rubs the backs of his eyelids. I press on, not willing to let him go until I've laid my cards on the table. "I love her," I tell him. "I'm in love with her." His features twist with emotion. "I love her too," he admits. "I miss her so much." "I miss her too. I miss both of you." Oliver's eyes, the same shade as mine, turn cold as he narrows them. "You should never have put her in a position where she felt like she had to lie to me." "I know." "You were her doctor, for God's sake." "Believe me, I know how fucked up it is, but that doesn't change the way I feel about her." I swallow thickly. "Tell me what to do, Oliver. Tell me what to do to fix this." "I don't know. I wish I did," he sniffles. "Nat was always better at this kind of stuff. I bet she'd know exactly what to say right now." I'm sure she would. I can see Natasha's determined stare as clearly as if she were here with us. I can't help but chuckle. She'd have us breaking bread again in no time. We stand in silence for a long moment, listening to the gentle lapping of the lake. I glance over at my son, searching his profile for traces of the little boy who used to squeal with joy every time I picked him up from kindergarten. He's become a mystery to me, and it breaks my fucking heart to think I've destroyed my chance at getting to know the man he's still growing into. But I won't give up on us, no matter how many times he slams the door in my face. "Are you hungry?" I ask him. "We've still got steaks in the freezer. I could throw a couple on the grill, along with some ears of corn." Oliver hesitates, shifting his duffel bag to the other shoulder. I'm prepared for him to say no, but to my surprise, he shrugs one shoulder. "Fine," he says, "on one condition. You let me start up the grill." "You remember how?" "Not really, but that's what the internet is for." I roll up my sleeves with a chuckle. "Well, I'm here if you need a refresher." I follow him into the house with a small, hopeful smile on my face. Nothing's fixed. One productive conversation doesn't mean we're cured, but it's a start.
Chapter 9. Natasha. No amount of Chinese takeout or romantic comedies on Netflix can distract me from the gaping hole in my chest. I lost the two most important men in my life. My best friend and my boyfriend. Gone. in the blink of an eye. And I only have myself to blame. My phone chimes on the couch beside me. I close my eyes and sigh. It's probably Evan again, asking if I'm okay, wondering where I am. I'm at Haley's, but he doesn't know that. I don't want him to know because if he knows, he might come for me. And I don't want that. Except I do. I really, really do. The phone vibrates as a reminder that I've missed a text. I flip it over, then blink twice at the name on the screen. It wasn't Evan who texted me, but Ollie. I swipe down to read the message. Ollie, yoga at 3? This is the first I've heard from him since our big fight. I wanted to text him every day since it happened, but I didn't think he'd be happy to hear from me. I wonder if he and Evan ever managed to sit down and talk about their issues. I suppose the only way to find out is to ask. But it's not the kind of thing you just bring up out of the blue. My stomach flutters as I type back a quick, okay. I know which gym he wants to meet at. It's the same one we always went to together, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons. I put on a pair of leggings and a loose tank, then grab my bag and head out the door. Ollie is already there when I arrive, stretching on a yoga mat. He's already laid one out for me beside him. All good signs, I tell myself. Still, I don't want to get my hopes up. Hey, I say to Ollie. Hi. His smile is brief but genuine. I got you a mat. Thanks. I lay my bag down on the floor and take a seat on the yoga mat. Our instructor, Skylar, welcomes us to the class and starts us off with a warm-up. I try to focus on my breathing and my posture over the next hour, but I can't resist stealing glances at Ollie. Is he still angry with me? I wonder. And does he still expect me to choose between him and Evan? After class is over, Ollie suggests we grab smoothies at the cafe across the street, his treat. Seated together at a table by the window, neither of us seems eager to be the one to ruin the tenuous good mood. I'm sorry, I say finally, stabbing at my strawberry mango smoothie with my straw. I'm sorry for keeping my relationship with your dad a secret. I should have told you who he was from the beginning. Yeah, he says, you should have. I wait for Ollie to say more. When he doesn't, I soldier on. I know you want me to choose, but I can't. I can't choose between the two of you. I want you both. I don't want to lose our friendship. But I can't be around you and not think of him. And I can't be with him and not miss you. You are my family. And Evan is my daddy. He's my daddy. Thankfully, I know better than to say that out loud. He's like my family, too, I say. Ollie runs a hand through his messy locks. Do you really want to date my dad, Nat? Be honest with me. Yes, I tell him. Yes, I do. I love him, Ollie. I know it's a little weird. It's super weird. Like the weirdest thing you could possibly want to do. I chortle. Yes, it is. But I really do love him. How is he, by the way? Ollie grimaces. He's pretty miserable, actually. He misses you. He's been sleeping at the lake house instead of his apartment, commuting to work every day. It's not pretty, babes. My heart sinks. More than anything, I want to ask Ollie to drive me to the lake house right now so I can see him. But this conversation isn't even halfway over. I take a long sip from my smoothie to steel myself. Have you two had a chance to talk about your relationship? I ask. A bit. We've talked about his reasons for leaving and why he stayed away so long. I don't fully understand his decisions, but it's nice to have it out in the open. It's all thanks to you, you know. I raise an eyebrow. Me? Yeah, You always encouraged us to find a middle ground." Sighing, he pinches the spot between his eyes and takes a deep breath. "Look, I know this whole thing is insane. I don't like to think about you and my dad being—" He makes an inappropriate gesture with his hands. I wince. "Yeah, I get the picture. Still, I know he cares about you, and you clearly care about him. He's my dad, and you're my best friend. I want you both to be happy, and I don't want to lose you, okay? So as long as you guys are happy." He sighs again. "I'll try to be okay with this. I can't promise I won't freak out, but I'm going to try and keep an open mind, okay?" I can already feel the tears welling. "Thank you, Ollie. That means so much to me. You have no idea." He squeezes my hand on the table. "I draw the line at calling you Mom, though." We burst into laughter that draws attention from the tables around us, but I don't care. A piece of my heart falls back into place as we settle into our familiar banter. For the first time all summer, I feel like I can breathe again. No more lies, no more secrets. I got my friend back, along with his blessing. Now I just have to hope it's enough to convince Evan that loving me wasn't a mistake.
Chapter 10. Evan. "Dr. Ransom, your last appointment is waiting for you in room 3. I scratch at the stubble lining my cheek, barely glancing at the medical assistant loitering in my office doorway. "I don't have any other appointments scheduled for this evening," I reply. "Is this a walk-in?"
"Yes, doctor, but they requested you specifically."
Sighing, I take the chart she offers me and skim through the details. Natasha Bellows. My heart catapults into my throat as hope digs its claws into me. "I'll take it," I say quickly. Breathing deeply, I remind myself that Natasha could be here for any number of reasons. Maybe her IUD is giving her trouble, or she just wants to tell me to my face that it's really over. I swallow the panic that threatens to choke me. Whatever her reasons for coming in tonight, I'll do all I can to ensure she's taken care of. It's the least I can do after fucking up so thoroughly. I rap my knuckles on the door and then turn the handle. A flash of déjà vu catches me off guard as I lock eyes with the woman I love, seated exactly as she was the first time I met her, cotton gown and everything. Natasha. My hands tighten around her chart as I suppress the urge to wrap my arms around her and claim her mouth in possessive kiss. "What can I do for you?" The cotton gown she's wearing slides an inch off her shoulder as she shrugs.
"I wanted to see you."
She crinkles the paper blanket across her lap. She's nervous. But what reason would she have to be nervous? Maybe because she knows she comes bearing bad news. "Is your IUD causing you problems?" I ask stiffly, taking a seat on the rollaway stool. "You can check the strings yourself. You don't need a doctor for that." Her cheeks pinken. She shakes her head.
"I'm not here for a checkup, Evan."
"Then what's with the gown?"
"I needed a reason to come here, so I made one up."
She laughs, a soft sound that makes my chest ache.
"I wanted to talk to you face to face and tell you that I saw Ollie. He reached out to me."
That's good to hear. I'd hoped Oliver would reach out to Natasha. I know he's been missing her. We both have. I've tried calling you many times.
"I know,"
she says, frowning.
"I'm sorry I never picked up. I just needed time."
I understand. Anyway, I want you to know that I'm sorry for the way things happened this summer. I take full responsibility.
"Evan,
Please, let me explain. I'm the one who crossed the line. I fell in love with you when I had no business doing so. We both crossed the line," she says, her gaze clear and confident.
"And I'd cross it again if I had the chance. You're worth it, Evan. Every time."
Her smile is radiant as she hops off the exam bed and drops the paper blanket to the floor. She crosses the room and rests her hands on my shoulders.
"I love you, Evan. I want to be your baby girl, if you'll let me."
She takes my hand and guides it beneath her gown, between her legs. My breath hitches as my palm connects with her bare pussy. "Oh, you dirty girl," I growl, tugging her down to straddle my lap. "I want nothing more than to be your daddy." I'm tempted to stroke her clit now, to watch her tremble as she comes for me, but I have something even dirtier in mind for both of us. I kiss her pretty mouth as I pull up her gown, gliding my hands up over her stomach, her ribs, her incredible tits. She whimpers into the kiss as I gently pinch her nipples. "I am your daddy, sweetheart," I tell her, "but I'm also your doctor, and you're here for an exam. Let me see what's troubling you, Natasha, so I can make you feel better." She grins as I guide her to her feet. "Where does it hurt?" I ask. "Be honest with Daddy." "Here," she whispers, patting her lips. "Will you kiss it better?" My cock's already hard as steel, and I know I won't last long like this, but I'll give Natasha anything she wants tonight, even if it's just a kiss. "Yes, baby girl, I'll kiss all the pain away." I slant my lips over hers, savoring the sweet taste of her mouth. She fists her hand around my shirt and whimpers, pulling away breathlessly. "It hurts here too," she murmurs, taking my hand and placing it on her breast. Better get a closer look. I slide the gown down her arms and let it fall to the floor. She sighs as I kiss her neck. "No, Daddy. Here." She brings my hand to her breast. I groan, teasing her nipple with the pads of my fingers. I brush my lips down her chest until I reach her pert nipple. "Right here, baby." She gasps as I flick my tongue back and forth across her nipple, threading her fingers into my hair. I suck and nip, coaxing a moan from her beautiful throat. After a few seconds of blissful torture, I reluctantly pull away. "Anywhere else, sweetheart?" She mumbles a yes and spreads her legs a little wider. I can smell her arousal already dripping down her thighs. "Right here, baby girl." I swipe 2 fingers along her slit. She whimpers and nods. "There's only one thing that can help with that, sweetheart. But I need to examine you first." I back her toward the exam table. "Get on the table, on your hands and knees." I wait for her to do as she's told. "Good girl, just like that. Perfect." She presents her ass to me, and fuck if I don't want to bury my face in her folds and make her come with my mouth. But my cock is throbbing, aching, begging to slide into home. I press the button on the side of the exam table, lowering it as far as it will go, until her pussy is at just the right height. "You're going to take this cock, Natasha," I tell her, undoing my belt and unzipping my pants. I pull out my hard cock, stroking it roughly as I smooth my hand over her backside. "And it's going to make you feel better. That's what you want, right? For Daddy to fuck the pain away?" "Yes," she whines, her inner thighs shining with desire. "Please, Daddy, I need you so bad." I notch my cock at her entrance, rubbing the head along her seam until the head is slick with her arousal. "You're mine, Natasha," I growl, grabbing her hip firmly. "You will always be mine." With one strong thrust, I fill her completely. She moans, cursing her pleasure. "Quiet down, little girl." I grit through clenched teeth. "Wouldn't want anyone interrupting your very thorough exam." "Sorry, Daddy," she whispers. "I'll be quiet." I pull back just to pound home, gripping her hips and thrusting into her, over and over. She muffles her cries into her arm, keeping her word as best she can as I fuck her hard and fast. "Good girl," I grunt. "So fucking good for Daddy." I break into a sweat. Her body takes everything I give it, sucking me in with each wet slap of our hips. Her muscles quiver around my dick. I dig my teeth into my bottom lip, knowing I'm close, that I won't last much longer, not after missing her for 2 whole weeks. "Are you ready for your medicine, Natasha?" I tilt my hips so I can reach deeper inside her. She trembles from the change in pressure. Fuck, baby. You're gonna make me come. Daddy's gonna fill this sweet pussy with hot cream. Tell me what you need to get you there.
My clit,
she whispers. I reach around and find her stiff little butt. Immediately she tightens around me. I stroke and stroke in tiny circles till her pussy spasms and she comes around my cock. My balls tighten as I follow her into bliss, shooting my load deep and painting her walls white. I continue to rock into her gently, even as the blood leaves my dick, until she turns her head and looks at me. The pure, unfiltered love in her hooded gaze nearly knocks me to the ground. I run my hand up the center valley of her back and lower my lips to her shoulder blade. Fucking beautiful, I rasp, pulling out to see my handiwork dripping out of her. You're so fucking stunning, Natasha. I can't resist sliding 2 fingers inside her, moving in and out slowly. She rocks back as I thrust forward, meeting me each time, as my cum pools between her legs on the exam table. Finally, I let her relax and help her clean up and get dressed. I love you, Natasha. I whisper into her hair. She sighs, hugging me tighter.
I love you too, Dr. Ransom.
Are we really back to that? I chuckle.
Well, you did just give me a very thorough exam, she says with a coy smile. I kiss her lips and pet her cheeks.
Did it work? Are you feeling better?
So much better. I'll have to schedule a follow-up appointment.
Natasha pulls back and takes my hand, lifting it to her lips.
Can we please go home now?
I don't have to ask what she means by home. She's talking about the lake house, the place where we fell in love, where we became a family with her best friend, my son. I give her hand a gentle squeeze. Yes, baby girl, we can go home.
Epilogue. Natasha. 5 years later. Now, Natasha. The gray-haired woman with the kind smile and cat-eye glasses looks up at me from between my legs. You didn't request a replacement IUD. Is that correct? That's correct, Dr. Longmire. My husband and I are planning to start a family. How wonderful. It is wonderful. I sigh contentedly. After 5 incredible and incredibly satisfying years with Evan, we're finally ready to expand our little family. Now that the IUD is out, how soon can I get pregnant? I ask. Depends. How soon can you get home? Dr. Longmire shoots me a wink. She removes the speculum from my vagina and rolls away from the exam table. There's no waiting period, so you could get pregnant immediately. Good to know, I say, biting back a smile. The rest of the appointment goes by quickly and smoothly. Once it's over, I make a left turn out of the exam room and then head upstairs to where they keep the private offices. On the way up, I get a text from Ollie asking if we'd like to join him and his fiancée for dinner tonight. I fire off a quick yes response. Evan will be pleased to see them again so soon after their engagement announcement. He was the one who introduced Ollie to Beckett, after all, though I like to think I played a role in emboldening Ollie to pop the question. Things were undeniably weird right after Evan and I became official. Now that we're married, I'm technically Ollie's stepmom, though in practice we're more like siblings. We haven't decided whether our baby will relate to Ollie as a brother or an uncle figure, but that's something I'm confident we can work out. I've gotten pretty damn good at this negotiation business, being a professional mediator and all. I knock softly on my husband's door in case he's on the phone. "Come in," he calls through the wood. I step inside his office, and the smile that greets me is like a kiss on the clit. It's official. My husband is the hottest doctor on the planet. How'd your appointment go? As soon as I'm close enough, he pulls me onto his lap and peppers my neck with kisses. It went really well. Very little discomfort during the removal. Dr. Longmire says we can start trying for a baby immediately.
Did she now?
His grin widens. I gasp as he palms my breasts over my shirt. I didn't mean right now, I hiss, nodding toward the open door.
Why not?
He exhales warm breath over my collarbones.
Practice makes perfect. I think we should get in a few practice rounds before we start trying for real.
You're insatiable, Dr. Ransom.
So are you, Mrs. Ransom.
He slides the neckline of my shirt to the side, placing a tender kiss on my shoulder. When you're right, I sigh playfully. Hold on, I'll shut the door. Back in Evan's lap, he lifts my shirt to expose my bra, then hooks his finger inside one of the cups. I bite my lip as he pulls the cup down, exposing my nipple.
Can Daddy have a taste?
He growls. I nod, then gasp as he wraps his lips around my nipple. My eyelids flutter. I struggle to hold on to my train of thought as heat and pressure coalesce between my thighs. But we have dinner plans, I say softly, biting my lip at the very big, very hard erection knocking on the door to my panties. With Ollie and Beckett, tonight.
Then we'd better be quick.
Evan chuckles darkly, rocking his erection against me.
Come on, baby girl. Let's see how fast you can make Daddy come.
He captures my mouth, claiming me with his lips and tongue as I buck my hips in time with his own thrusts. I'm already drenched when he drags my panties to the side and impales me on his fat daddy cock. It doesn't matter how many times we fuck. I'm still shocked by his girth every time he enters me. Bracing myself on his shoulder, I ride him slow and deep, teasing him until I feel his fingers bite into my hips. Daddy, can I come? Biting my lip, I wait for his permission. Please, Daddy, I'm so close. Evan leans back in his desk chair so he can watch me ride his cock.
You'd better come for me, sweet girl.
His gaze remains locked on my face as I reach between us to rub my clit. Within seconds, I'm quivering, barely able to hold in my moans as my pussy clenches around him. He holds me steady as I come, each thrust sending me to even greater heights of pleasure. I bury my face in his neck as we both groan.
That's it, baby girl. Milk your daddy's cock.
Evan guides my hips, upping our pace and causing his cock to hit the perfect spot inside me. Again, and again, and again. I love you, Daddy, I whine softly. I love you so fucking much.
I love you too, Natasha.
He kisses me with the same toe-curling fierceness that took my breath away the first time. I smile against his lips, knowing in my heart that every kiss that follows will be just as ferocious. This concludes Daddy Fever by Margot Scott. Narrated by Lou Banks and E.M. Wild. Copyright 2022 by Margot Scott. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with Margot Scott, care of SBR Media, and was produced in the year 2025 by Tantor Media Incorporated, a division of Recorded Books, which holds the copyright thereto. Please visit tantor.com for more information on our growing library of unabridged audiobooks.